Sunshine with our highs in the upper 60s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 Stephanie Mead for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
Yeah, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here, keeping an eye on Hurricane Ian. Right there between Cat 4 and Cat 5. Approaching Florida, 155-mile-an-hour winds, tornadoes, storm surges, up to 24 inches of rain expected in some spots. Hammer, let's go to Governor Ron DeSantis on the hurricane.
Yes, we're going to have a catastrophic impact in Southwest Florida, but this thing's going to, really barrel across the state. It's going to be a strong storm. I mean, it's going to weaken once it gets on shore, but you're going to end up, you could end up in Central Florida to have winds, certainly gusts that would be hurricane force. It's going to at least be a tropical storm as it barrels across. That's going to cause problems with the vegetation. It's going to cause problems with trees. The ground's already wet based on the amount of precipitation we have. That's ripe conditions for trees to fall over. That means more power lines are down. So that's going to have a cascading effect. So the most significant impacts will obviously be the landfall, but you're going to have other impacts. And so that's why you have these folks stage. That's why you have so many people, because there's going to be a lot of different places around the state of Florida where they're going to have to respond to.
And Nige, earlier today, when this thing was at its absolute peak, the strongest, it was a Category 4, but with just 2 more miles per hour with the winds, it would have been a Category 5. So that's how strong of a storm this is. 155 mile per hour winds. It's spawning tornadoes, 24 inches of rain expected in a lot of different spots around Florida.
My wife's brother and his girlfriend live in Tampa, St. Pete. They picked up and drove to Atlanta for a couple days. Other people I know down there decided to stick it out. My old friend Marco, who I used to work with on this signal. He used to host a morning show when it was radio now, 93.1, is on the drivehubler.com hotline. Marco, are you Seminole or Pinellas County? What?
Yeah, Seminole. So that's the area in Pinellas, all the way west, right before the Gulf.
So you're close to the water, right? I mean, you're not on the beach, but you decided to stick it out. And I've been to your house, I've been to your neighborhood. You're like a 5-minute walk.
Yeah. Neighborhood sits on the Intracoastal. Right across the street is the Gulf of Mexico, parked right between Clearwater Beach and Madeira Beach.
Well, man, it's good to talk to you. It's good to have you on the air with us again. I think we talked to you during Hurricane Michael. Was that in 2018? Do you remember that? Was that?
I think it was that, or maybe it was Irma. But yeah, it was definitely one of them for sure. Yeah.
And you have decided, even though Governor DeSantis is like, yeah, you better get out of here. You guys, maybe some of your neighbors, your family, decided to stick it out. It's my understanding right now that maybe some of the more severe weather is going to slightly miss you where you're at. Why did you decide to stay?
Well, it's funny. I'm glad you guys, played Governor DeSantis, our boy Ronnie D. Man, he's been coming through for us. Yeah. It's we have such a huge budget surplus here. There's just money laying around. So he was able to bring in all of these power companies. I mean, I know we had a bunch come in from Indiana. I read that this morning, but Texas, Tennessee. So we've got so many resources on the ground. It just seemed like, whatever was going to happen, we'd be able to get back up and running a little bit quicker than before. And he gets a lot of credit for that.
Marco, Jason Hammer here. Before hurricane season got rolling, Joe Biden came out and said, if you're living in an area that could be hit by a hurricane, the first thing you need to do, the most important thing you need to do is to get vaccinated. So, Marco, at what point in your hurricane preparation checklist here was vax status addressed?
I went yesterday and got all 4 of my boosters that I had neglected to get. Yeah, it was first thing on my mind to go get boosted yesterday with 4 different shots. But it's so crazy because the whole thing has become political, even a hurricane. Yesterday, yes. I'm sure you guys talked about it. Biden was kind of ducking DeSantis's calls and things like that. And And again,
Klobuchar said, "Yeah, look, you got to vote for Democrats because that'll end hurricanes."
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you too. We call it the Great Freedom Flight of 2020, and that was a lot of Midwesterners who left those punitive lockdowns in Indiana, Ohio, and Chicago, and they're here, but they've never experienced hurricanes before. And so it is scary for a lot of people to come down here from the Midwest, deal with these things. I was at a really great hurricane party last night, and there were some people, and there were some people crying. I mean, it's like women crying because they were scared to death, and it's like, and I get it. I mean, I get it, but it's like you run from one thing, lockdowns, and no economic ability to run a business, but then you come down here, and then this, unfortunately, is kind of part of the deal with living in the tropics.
My friend and longtime coworker Marco was on the air with him for a number of years here on this signal 93.1. He's based out of Florida now. So what did you do to get rid? I saw the Facebook photos of the dirty 30 packs of Busch Light, and I know that's kind of tongue in cheek. It's funny, but you guys you have taken preparations. Have you boarded up the windows and you've got the generators working and stuff, right?
Yeah, you can't mess around. I mean, when you're this close to the water, I mean, the generators, the boards went up. You got to drain your pools. You got to make sure your trees have been cut back. And a lot of it too, really, is being a good person. Like, you got to help your neighbors. I mean, I had to run out this morning. He had a leak, and we had to get a tarp up on his roof. And being on a roof when it's 50, 67 mile an hour gusts, that's tough. But you really do need to. You kind of need to do that. And I think too, that's sort of a Florida thing. Like, people they get out in it, they help each other. But I'm about to crack a Busch Light here. I can't. So that's part of it too. You got to get out in it. You got to kind of find a way to enjoy it too. But what's going on down south, Fort Myers, Siesta Key, it really, to be honest, is painful to watch. I mean, the Weather Channel is going to get Stephanie Abrams killed. She's out in Englewood, Florida, and I think Mike Seidel is about to really be sucked into the Gulf of Mexico. Oh. I mean, it is like I can't really believe what I'm watching there, to be honest with you.
So a little bit different than where you're at in Tampa right now, for sure.
Yeah, Category 1 type stuff here. Okay. Power is starting to go out here. For sure, and that's going to be an issue too moving forward. With Irma, we were out for 7 days.
Yep.
So that can be tough.
What's going on with the pricing in the neighborhood? Before everything closed down, did you see any gas stations just jack up the prices on gas, or hotel rooms triple the cost of rooms?
And where are you able to get supplies?
Well, Hammer, I'll tell you, once again, let's give it back to our boy Ronnie D., the governor. He came in here to Irma and really put in all these laws. They can't jack you up like that in Florida. They just can't do it. I mean, they will come down on you. They'll shut down your business. But I'll tell you this, because in Irma, we made a last-minute idea to evacuate, and it was a huge mistake. So we got over the line in Florida and stayed in a hotel, a Marriott, not like a Conrad, $1,200 right across the line in Georgia. Gas was like 6 or 7. Gas then was like Biden gas now. They were doing that for the people running from Irma. It's like they knew what was coming. So, but no, they have those laws here, and Ronnie D put those in pretty quick, which hey, we appreciate. Like, we got to go get supplies. We got to get gas. We need water. And sometimes people have to run to a hotel, and you can't punish people and punish families who are stressed out about losing their homes or their vehicles. I mean, you look at these cars are underwater in Naples. I mean, a lot of these cars are just going to move out to the Gulf of Mexico. They're not coming back. So in that regard, we have good protections down here from all that price gouging.
Hey, man, stay safe. Tell Melissa and the kids, give some love to them from my wife, Lindsay, and I. And let's maybe hook up tomorrow, at least give us an update on what tonight was like, and be careful down there. Okay, buddy?
Yeah, hey, I appreciate it, guys, and congrats to you guys on a big Colts win last week. And I was feeling proud of you guys. Good work.
Thank you.
All right, that's my buddy Marco, who is based out of Florida now. Worked with him for a long time here in this building on this signal in the early and mid 2000s. So
all through the evening, keep it locked right here to 93 WIBC, because we will have coverage, Fox News updates at the top and the bottom of every hour all night long as this storm makes its way through. There is another story that I do want to get to. And listen, a lot of people had sent us this clip of Joe Biden earlier today speaking at some event, and he's trying to make it look like he wants bipartisan help, right? And he's thanking some Republican politicians that came to help him and work on some legislation, including the late Jackie Walorski. Now, we're going to play you this audio. Again, this is Joe Biden thanking and basically looking around where Jackie Walorski is. He doesn't know that she's no longer with us.
And so many of you know so much about this as well, and you're committed. And I want to thank all of you here, for including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here to help make this.
Jackie died in a car accident with some of her aides on August 3rd.
Oh, my gosh.
2 weeks ago, Joe Biden put her name on a VA hospital, named the hospital after her. He had a document, he signed it, he spoke about it. And today, he was looking around the room wondering where she's at.
I was talking about Jackie Gleason. Where's Jackie Chan?
This is so embarrassing. This is insulting that this guy's the president of the United States.
Or Jackie Kennedy. Where? Come on. It's like, God love you. It's like when let's go to, they were grilling KJP, the White House press secretary, after this happened. Here's what a little bit of that sounded like.
Final one. What happened in the hunger event today? The president appeared to look around the room for an audience member, a member of Congress who passed away last month. He seemed to indicate she might be in the room. What happened there?
So the president was, as you all know, you guys were watching today's event, a very important event on food insecurity. The president was naming the congressional champions on this issue and was acknowledging her incredible work. He had already planned to welcome the Congresswoman's family to the White House on Friday. There will be a bill signing in her honor this coming Friday. So, of course, she was on his mind. She was of top of mind for the president. He very much looks forward to discussing her remarkable legacy of public service with them when he sees her family this coming Friday.
He said, "Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? She must not be here."
No, I totally understand. I just explained she was on top of mind.
Oh, that's such bull crap.
You buy that? Okay, so you don't buy that.
No, I don't. I believe the president has dementia. I believe the president doesn't know what happens day to day when he wakes up. And if this were any other president, can you imagine if Donald Trump looked around the room and asked where somebody that had passed away was? It'd be wall-to-wall coverage. CNN would interrupt the hurricane coverage to bring you wall-to-wall coverage of that.
What's more cringeworthy, that or when he told the guy in a wheelchair to stand up?
Stand up, Chuck. Let him see you. Oh, God love you. What am I talking about?
Oh, they're both pretty bad. But I think today was worse. And this is not okay. Like, a lot of people are laughing at him. Oh, that's just Joe. No, this is not okay.
I'm laughing at him. Trust me.
This is embarrassing.
I'd like to thank the Queen of England.
And the fact that his wife, the good doctor, keeps propping him up there. President Applesauce Brains, they keep propping him up there. And the folks in his inner circle think this is fine. This is elder abuse. This is unbelievable that this guy is still allowed to go up there every single day, and he doesn't know his left from his right, he doesn't know his wife from his sister, and he doesn't know who's dead or alive. Matt Baer.
East side, southbound 465 slows from 72 Arlington Avenue, and on the southwest side, eastbound 465, slowing up Kentucky Avenue over to the White River. Traffic sponsored by Audible. The best audio entertainment this fall is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcasts, and more, all in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
I mean, this isn't funny anymore. He's not, talking about corn pop and hairy legs. I mean, he's looking around the room for somebody who's dead when he signed legislation 2 weeks ago to name a building after this person. Unbelievable. 62 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
The big fall sales here at Sundown Gardens. 20 to 50% off nursery items and selected perennials. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road. SundownGardens.com.
The Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ are all dropping like a rock. And unfortunately, we could see even more losses in the months to come. But there is a way you could stop the bleeding. Learn how you could avoid losing another dime with your IRA and 401k. Capture the gains when the market goes up and get a 14% bonus on your retirement funds. It's Terry Stacy, and it doesn't get any better than that. Don't lose another dime with your IRA and 401k. Capture the gains when the market goes up and get a 14% bonus on your retirement funds. To learn more, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-349-5212. Bill's helped my family, and he can help you too. Call 317-349-5212. 317-349-5212.
Yeah, look, the reality is the longer you have those old, drafty, cracked, foggy windows, the more money you are wasting on your heating and cooling bills. Window Nation has saved customers over $60 million on their energy bills. I've been saving money on my energy bills ever since the new energy-efficient Window Nation windows were installed in my house. And right now, there's an incredible deal. 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. There's no limit. And you pay nothing with no interest until 2025 with Window Nation.
Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. Any style, and there's no limit. You want to buy 10, you get 10 for free. And the best part, you don't pay anything until 2025. No payments, no down payments, no interest, nothing. 866-90-NATION. Call now. Get this deal locked in, even if you're just thinking about getting new windows. 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com and tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible gateway.
When physical therapy didn't work. When rest and medication didn't do the job. When your doctor says now's the time. Rise up to back and neck pain with spine surgery from IU Health. We offer convenient access to highly skilled spine surgeons from Indiana's only nationally recognized healthcare system. Our team of multidisciplinary specialists work together on the best surgical option to get you back to doing the things you love. Visit iuhealth.org/spine care to learn more.
Trust 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning to help keep your AC running strong. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Family Heating and Air Conditioning, your independent American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
And we're back.
The Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
But I'm pretty good at drinking beer.
Yeah, just in time for Oktoberfest. Hammer, a day worth celebrating for sure. Today is National Drink Beer Day.
All right.
I mean, you could just call it Wednesday.
Right. We've been celebrating for about 300 plus days.
Okay, so you want to celebrate? Let's do, we created a little mashup here featuring Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh.
Yes, we drank beer. I liked beer. Still like beer.
And I like beer.
Yeah, we drank beer.
It makes me a jolly good fellow. I like beer.
Sometimes too many beers.
Yes, we like beer.
We like beer.
Judge Kavanaugh, thank you very much. Hearing adjourned.
National Drink Beer Day is today, and a lot of people are going to be celebrating by playing beer pong. Here's comedian Chris Killian.
You guys know what beer pong is, right? Yes, okay, beer pong. Yeah, it's a fantastic game to play. I love it. And if you do play it, be careful, though, because I recently read on the internet that it's now the leading contributor to the spreading of mono. And I'm not surprised, because anytime I've ever seen a beer pong table set up, it's in the nastiest room I've ever been in. There's like garbage piled up in the corners, and your feet kind of stick to the floor, and you're just tossing a ping pong ball around without a care in the world, trying to go in a cup. It never does. It just lands on the floor. What is that, a dirty diaper, a moldy enchilada? I don't know. You can't be too sure. There's some straggly hair on it that doesn't match anybody who's in the room. You pull it off, though, and it's all okay. You know why? Because there's a little Dixie cup filled with water. Boop, boop, boop. All clean now. And then you just throw it into whatever people are drinking. Oh, dude, I'm getting so sloshed. Or I'm coming down with a fever. I don't know. It really is a nasty game if you think about it, though, because you're drinking out of the same cup after all these people. And I love the excuse when people are like, oh, the alcohol kills the germs. Maybe if you were down in like 200 proof moonshine, that might be the case. But I'm just going to venture out on a limb and guess the 6% alcohol in your Natty Light's not taking care of it like you're hoping.
That's pretty true when you think about it.
I mean, beer pong is probably one of the greatest beer drinking games of all time, if you had to rank them. Right? Yeah. I mean, that's up there in the top 5, isn't it?
Right, and it feels like it's really grown in popularity over the last 15 to 20 years. Because when I was in college, beer pong was okay, but it was mainly like card type of drinking games.
Like if you're just sitting around playing euchre or something like that, or did that involve actually imbibing when you lose a hand or something like that?
Right, there was pyramids, there was a game called A-Hole that was with cards.
Oh yeah, I've played A-Hole before.
So beer pong has really kind of grown in popularity over the last couple of years. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet, security, and voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagle Bill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security Edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment taxes and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Hammer here for Indy's hometown sportsbook, Bet Rivers. Bet Rivers, Indiana. I love Bet Rivers because they always give you, the player, the opportunity to win more money. And ultimately, isn't that what it's all about? Some sports books, they only cater to new users. Sign up for the first time, and then they ignore you. That's not what Bet Rivers does. When you're a player at Bet Rivers, every day there are profit boost opportunities, ways to get free bets. Always check the daily specials and the promotion section. And with football season being underway, every Saturday, college football Saturday, there's a profit boost on parlay bets. And NFL Sundays, we've got touchdown contests. There's a parlay promotion where if you miss just one leg of a 4-legger, you get your money back in terms of free bets up to $25. I'm telling you, they take care of the returning players better than any other sports book. Please, if you don't have it, download it right now. Bet Rivers, Indiana. Must be a resident of Indiana, 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Need to beat inflation? Golden Oak Lending is here to help.
Inflation has credit card balances at an all-time high. Why pay up to 25% interest when Golden Oak can pay off that debt at 4.75% fixed?
Our low mortgage rates make you the winner.
Call 317-706-GOLD to lock in your 4.75% rate today.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 4.75% fixed, 5.929% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
It's just the beginning. Cloudy and 62 downtown with a low of 43 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:30. Hurricane Ian is moving through Florida today. Over 200,000 people have already lost power, and that's just the beginning, says Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
200,000 is a drop in the bucket for what's going to happen over the next 24 to 48 hours. There's going to be widespread power outages, particularly in southwest Florida.
DeSantis says not everyone chose to evacuate southwest Florida and says those people need to take shelter. The storm made landfall this afternoon. There's a small chance that parts of Indiana could see storms from the hurricane.
We have a real low shot that we might get some spotty showers southeast of the city.
Joe Neild with the National Weather Service. He says there's a small chance that rain gets here by this weekend. President Joe Biden announced today new funding for his goal of ending hunger by 2030.
Today we're announcing over $8 billion in commitments from over 100 different organizations to help reach our goals.
The Biden administration's plan includes more funding for nutritional programs for senior citizens. 2 school buses were involved in a chain reaction wreck on US 31 in Greenwood September 16th. Chris Davis reports Greenwood police are looking for a Hummer and a driver they believe is responsible.
You never forget the sound or the shock of a big, bad wreck.
Oh, my God!
The family who gave police their dash cam video was behind one of the buses and hit its back corner after the Hummer slammed on brakes, got hit by one of the 2 buses, and then took off. Two adults on one of the buses were hurt, and police want info about the Hummer and the driver. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Gas prices up 15 cents today to $3.97, says Gas Buddy. With traffic at 3:32, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, looking at the east side, southbound 465 slows from 70 down to Arlington Avenue. Eastbound 465 slow from 70 over to the White River to get from 31 to Arlington Avenue. North side, westbound 465 slow at Michigan Road. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Should be a cool day, highs mid-60s with a lot of cloud cover through this afternoon. Later on tonight, mainly clear and chilly. Lows bottom out in the upper 30s to lower 40s. And we're in store for a slightly warmer day Thursday, more sunshine with our highs in the upper 60s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 Stephanie Mead for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Awesome!
Gotta have it!
The Hammer and Nigel Show. 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. We'll go to the drivehubler.com hotline and bring on Joe Concha, Fox News contributor, writer, and media and politics columnist at The Hill. He's got a new book called Come On, Man. The truth about Joe Biden's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad presidency. Joe, first of all, how many books have been written about Joe Biden versus Donald Trump this year? You may be the first.
I love this stat. I can only give you over the next 5 weeks, okay? There will be 15 books written about Donald Trump, the guy not in power for 21 months. And you are literally talking to the only author of the Biden book that you're going to see over the next 5 weeks leading up to the midterms. Yeah, the guy in power, polling lower than any first-term president in history, which I believe, therefore, that gives you some material to work with. But the Maggie Habermans and the Jonathan Karls of the world, they have to write another book about Trump because they serve at the pleasure of the Democratic Party.
On the back cover of your book, there's a series of one-liners from Joe Biden, ranging everywhere from, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, to you know the thing. Joe, it feels like maybe you put out your book too soon, because earlier today, I'm sure you saw this, you had Joe Biden looking around the room, wondering where Jackie Walorski was. And of course, she died in an automobile accident on August 3rd. And Joe Biden named a hospital after her, signed bills and named a hospital after her, but still couldn't remember where she was at today.
So cringy, man.
I'm trying to think what was worse, when he told the guy to stand up that was in the wheelchair,
Right.
Or this, what happened with Jack Walorski, I mean, who passed away, and look, I'm going to just give him a little bit of a pass here, all right, but it goes into what we talk about in the book. Some of the things that you see Joe Biden doing craptastically wrong are on Joe Biden, but some are on his staff. So he clearly was reading from a list of names provided for him, and somebody in his communications department, one of his handlers, decided to put her name in there, not even remembering that. So he was reading off a piece of paper, but he still should have the wherewithal of knowing that, hey, that name looks familiar. Isn't that the woman who died in the car crash earlier this year? Of course not. But this is where we are at this point, where you have a president that if he runs again for re-election and somehow wins, you'll be looking at the 85-year-old version of Joe Biden in the Oval Office as opposed to this late 70s version, and that's why a majority of Democrats don't even want him to run again in 2023. That's how poorly he is viewed in terms of his mental and physical capabilities and obviously his competency to run the country. Like when you raise taxes, and when you spend trillions of dollars during a recession, then have the audacity to say that this is going to bring down inflation. Any kid with a lemonade stand knows that that's not how it works, but this is what we're stuck with.
Right. You're right. You're 100% right. And we've established a long time ago, Joe Biden is Ron Burgundy. He will read whatever is in front of him, whether it's on a prompter or whether it's on a piece of paper. But, I mean, if you think about it this way, you've got Vladimir Putin over here talking about maybe he feels squirrely about nukes. And then you've got a full book on Joe Biden doing ridiculous things. That's a little scary. I mean, we're laughing, we're having fun here, but this guy is our president.
That's a Burgundyism also, right? We are laughing. Yes, we are laughing. But I'm no longer laughing when I watch him do a 60 Minutes interview, right? And remember, he's done 2 TV interviews this year. And one was with 60 Minutes, and one was with, I believe, Lester Holt, NBC, before the Super Bowl. What did both of those have in common? They were what's called pre-tapes, and you guys know what that means.
Yeah.
That means they were taped a couple days beforehand, so then in the post-production room, which means, okay, we have all this material, let's put this together to make the president look as least incompetent as possible, and still, out of all of that, like we saw in 60 Minutes, he said again, and this is the 4th time he said this, and this is where it no longer is a laughing matter. So if we get this straight, if China invades Taiwan, the U.S. military is going to engage the Chinese military directly, because that's what Joe Biden, the commander-in-chief, said. And if that happens, China, at last check, has nukes, a bigger military. We're looking at World War III. So that's why it used to be funny when he was a senator or vice president when he would say stupid things. But now there are real consequences, as in you will die if he actually goes ahead with something like that. And that's why I think the book is important. We have some fun in it, but there are some serious things here because, again, this is the leader, supposedly, allegedly, of the free world.
Joe, I'm wondering there's an element of the mainstream corporate press that's a little perturbed with Joe at this point. You just said it yourself. He's only done 2 sit-down pre-recorded interviews.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that colluded with big tech to help get him elected. When I say big tech, I also mean social media, the squashing of the Hunter Biden laptop story. And now these are the same people that were, just as long as we get him in the office, as long as it's not Trump, then everything's okay. But now Joe Biden isn't really giving sit-down interviews or press conferences at all with these guys. And I'm wondering if there's a sense of a little, if they are upset with him in the least.
Well, not in the way they used to get upset, right? Where Trump would call Jim Acosta a name, and then you need a fainting couch for Jim when he'd go on the air and say, this is a chilling threat to the free press. Hey, what happened to Jim, by the way?
Yeah.
A Democratic president gets elected. He could run faster from that briefing room, like Usain Bolt. Like, I got to ask a Democratic president obnoxious questions?
Yeah.
Forget it. And where's the Acosta book, by the way? Out of curiosity. Oh, that's right. That ain't coming. So, yeah, they're mad, but they're not mad the way they would be. Look, Donald Trump, you could agree or disagree with him. He was the most accessible president to the media we have had in history in just 4 years. He would do press conferences that would go on sometimes for 2 hours. He would stop and talk to reporters for a half hour before getting on Marine One. And now Joe Biden, just like he did during the 2020 campaign, is basically running the presidency by pleading the fifth and not speaking to reporters whatsoever. But they're not going to get mad because there's an election coming up, and God forbid that they're going to start truly criticizing this president. And that's why you see so much focus on Trump still right now going into the midterms instead of on inflation, crime, the border, education, Ukraine, China, and down the list where this president gets a failing grade on every front.
Joe Concha is our guest, Fox News contributor and columnist at The Hill. His new book is out. Come on, man. The truth truth about Joe Biden's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad presidency. And Joe, while we can go after things Joe Biden says, a big portion of this book are the horrific decisions that this president has made. And the thing that I take away the most here is we've almost forgotten about how disastrous that Afghan withdrawal was, because he's had so many disasters on top of each other. It can't be forgotten about what happened in Afghanistan.
You get numb by it almost, right? And Afghanistan was only, 14 months ago. And that's where everything began to turn. And why you would not use Bagram Air Base when he should have to use that for evacuations instead of counting on the friggin' Taliban, to handle security. Yeah, of course 13 service members died. It should have been a lot worse. So that's one decision where you're like, wait, what is that about? But then the border, all right, that is a national security issue. More than 70 terrorists have been arrested crossing the U.S. southern border illegally under this president. God knows how many we haven't caught, right? And you consider that 2 million people crossed into this country illegally over the last year, 2 million the year before that. Those are the ones we know about. Probably somewhere around 800,000 gotaways have also come into this country. So you're talking about the entire population of friggin' Ireland, okay? That's equivalent to the number of people have come across. And what's happening? Americans are dying on a daily basis from opioid overdoses driven by fentanyl that comes from China through Mexico over the border. And imagine that, 300 people dying a day. That's like an airplane crashing every day in this country. I'm pretty sure you would shut down the aviation industry and say, hey, we have to stop this if that was happening. Instead, this guy puts Kamala Harris in charge of fixing the border, the same person who compared ICE to the KKK. I mean, I'm pretty sure she has no interest in solving the problem. Sure enough, that's what we're seeing.
Does your book, and I know you only got a minute or two left here, Joe, but I mean, some of the other failures are platforms that he ran on. I'm not going to shut down the country. I'm going to shut down the virus. Do you mention anywhere in the book about what else? Shut down the virus, and what else was there? What was the big platforms that he was?
The big platform primarily, if you just want big picture that we could do in 45 seconds.
Yeah.
He was running as a moderate and as a unifier.
Yeah, unifier. That's right. That's what I was trying to come up with. Moderate and a unifier and shutting down the virus.
Exactly. Shut down the virus. Just the same guy who promised during the campaign that he's going to find a cure for cancer. All right, what audacity. Right? My mother died of cancer. Screw you, dude. All right? You're not one person can shut down a virus or find a cure for something that we've been looking for a cure for 100 years. And as far as being a unifier, I'm pretty sure when you start calling 74 million people semi-fascist, which, what is that, by the way? You can't kind of get a girl pregnant. And you can't kind of be a fascist. If you're going to be a fascist, you go fascist, right? It's not like there's a Diet Coke of fascist. Just 1 calorie, not fascist enough. I mean, so come on. So, come on, man, I should say.
Yeah.
So overall, that's what we have. We don't have a moderate. We don't have a unifier. We have a far-left ideologue who believes that government is the answer and not the problem. And when you have somebody who thinks along those lines, think Obamacare, then guess what? This is what you get. You get socialism, and it just don't work as we are seeing, fellas.
Go get the book. It's out right now. Come on, man. The truth about Joe Biden's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad presidency. Joe Concha, Joe, thank you so much for your time, man. We'd love to have you back on again soon.
You guys do great. Come on, man. So I appreciate that. Let's do one in unison on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Come on, man.
Beautiful.
Thanks,
guys.
Buddy.
See ya. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Midterm elections are just around the corner, and you might have questions like, what should I be doing with my money now? Or, what could happen in the stock market if my side doesn't win? Join Edelman Financial Engines on Tuesday, October 11th at 2 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern for our brand new webinar, The Elections in Your Portfolio, Separating Fact from Fiction. You can register now at efewebinar.com. You'll learn how the midterm election results can impact the stock market based on decades of market data. And you'll learn how to help position your portfolio for the elections and beyond. Don't miss this important and timely webinar. Join us for The Elections and Your Portfolio, Separating Fact from Fiction, on Tuesday, October 11th at 2 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern. There's no cost to attend and no obligation. Register now at efewebinar.com. That's efewebinar.com. Edelman Financial Engines. From here forward.
I had really bad siding issues on my house. All-Star Roofing, Siding, and More came out, had it handled within a couple days. Everything looked great. The owner, Tom Myers, works hand in hand with the insurance companies if you have damage to your roof due to some of the severe storms that have been rolling through. Hammer, I know, had brand new gutters installed. Tom Myers celebrating 25 years in the business with free inspections.
I had All-Star come out to my house, and yes, it was the owner, Tom Myers, that showed up, got up on the ladder, got on the roof, checked out the roof, did all of my gutters, got awesome gutter screens. This is the kind of service you get with All-Star Roofing, Siding, and more. The owner comes out and does a lot of the work. Contact them today. 317-522-6409. That's 522-6409. Or go to allstarroofingsiding.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
As a Shane Company jewelry consultant, I always enjoy telling our customers about our jewelry and how special it is. Like our cultured pearls. And right now, pearls are more popular than ever. Pearl strands, drop earrings, pearl rings, worn stacked and layered, everyone's wearing them. Did you know that a pearl takes 2 to 3 years to form inside a mollusk? It takes on the color of the nacre, the interior of the shell. So a lavender nacre will produce a lavender pearl. At Shane Company, our pearls are known for their beautiful luster. They're in their natural colors and never dyed. We source them directly from pearl farmers around the world. And we string our pearl strands with an individual knot between each pearl for extra security. Visit us today or chat with us online. We don't work on commission, so you'll never feel rushed or pressured. Whether you come in for a new on-trend pearl necklace or a diamond engagement ring, we'll educate you about our jewelry, so you'll leave feeling like an expert.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
As a parent, you want the best education for your child. Choose Marian University Preparatory School for this school year. Their faith-based online private school is currently enrolling students in grades 6 through 9. Your child will benefit from their personalized college prep curriculum and supportive community. Financial aid is available through the Indiana Choice Scholarship. To learn more about the unique educational experience of Marian University Preparatory School, visit k12.com/Marian. That's k12.com/MARIAN.
The Alzheimer's Association invites you to participate in the Walk to End Alzheimer's, the world's largest event to raise awareness and funds for Alzheimer's and dementia care, support, and research. Registration is free. Sign up today and help bring us one step closer to a world without Alzheimer's and dementia. Get the details and register at alz.org/walk. That's alz.org/walk. alz.org/walk.
Heating and air conditioning can be the largest investment you make in your home. Here at Family, we pride ourselves in offering many flexible options.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
You need to hire? Indeed is with you every step of the way, helping you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Bear's got to look at the roads.
Hammer East Side, southbound 465, stop and go traffic from 70 down to Arlington Avenue. And then on the north side, westbound 465 slows Meridian over to Ditch. South side, eastbound 465 slow out of 31 over to Emerson. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
63 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Man, the show is slammed. Calling in at about 4:30 this afternoon on the show, Bill O'Reilly. Used to host The Factor on Fox News. BillO'Reilly.com, No Spin News, and he's also the best-selling author of the Killing series. He's got a new book called Killing the Legends, The Lethal Danger of Celebrity, and we'll talk to him a little bit after 4:30 right here exclusively on the Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is over there. A man had to win 3 tiebreaker rounds, which included eating 3 Dragon's Breath peppers to win the Easton Farmers Market hot pepper eating competition in Pennsylvania. Hammer, sounds fun.
I do love a good spicy hot pepper. Now, I don't know if I can get down with these Dragon Breath ones here, but I like some spicy stuff.
Each Dragon's Breath pepper has around 2.5 million on the, what is this, the Scovetti Heat Units scale? 2.5 million. I don't know what that means. It sounds like kind of a big number in terms of spiciness for a pepper.
Right.
There. Here's the moment this guy, Kelly Joel Myers, won for a second year after 3 intense tiebreaker rounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever seen something so ridiculous as this? Can you imagine that we thought that these guys would go so long? All right, put one of those down, Kelly. He put one down. I think he's got 2 left. Oh, he's got 2. Oh, he just bites into it like a cherry tomato. Oh, no, he's done. He's done. Ladies and gentlemen, standing applause for this gentleman here. 2 years in a row.
All right, Hammer, you know what? I guess that's impressive. You know, going into what, triple OT in a hot pepper eating contest?
Right.
But sorry, it's nothing. Zero, zilch, not even close to being compared to the guy that vaped the California Reaper pepper.
If any of you don't know what a Carolina Reaper is, Guinness Book of World Records recognizes it as the world's hottest pepper. Okay, I'm going to vape it first. Oh, God, that... Oh, my God, my lungs are on fire. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, God.
So he vaped a Carolina Reaper. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
man.
I mean, while those guys are, you know, piddling around in the pepper eating contest, this guy's inhaling peppers into his lungs. The Carolina Reapers, no less.
Did you hear that, Matt Bear? We have an idea for the next night with WIBC. Matt Bear's going to go up with his vape. And
yeah, our traffic guy loves to vape. He's not shy about it, for sure.
Oh, God.
Sounds like me trying to hold back my puke after a latest story we had a couple of weeks ago where the chick swallowed the fly live on the air.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Again, we're going to have an update on the hurricane coming up here in just a little bit, making landfall Category 4, Hurricane Ian down in southwest Florida. We'll have that story and more. But all throughout the afternoon, we're celebrating National Drink Beer Day.
Celebrating right now?
I celebrated a couple times earlier today, and I think this calls for one of the greater moments that's happened here on the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah?
Where you, Big Nige, prank called your mom with this sound clip of some drunken Irish guy singing beer, beer, beer.
Hello, this is Tina. May I help you?
Beer, beer, beer. I'm going for a beer.
Hello, this is Tina.
She's a work.
Beer, beer, beer. I'm gonna drink some beer.
Excuse me, this is Tina. May I help you?
Beer, beer, beer. I'm gonna drink some beer.
I'm sorry.
I like drinking beer.
Sir, please, may I help you?
Lovely, lovely beer.
Please, I'm going to hang up now, okay?
Beer, beer, beer.
Call her back.
This is Tina. May I help you?
Beer, beer, beer. I'm going for a beer.
I'm sorry. I don't know who this is or why you keep asking for me.
Lovely, lovely beer.
Please stop now. Who is this?
Beer, beer, beer. I'm going for a beer.
This is Tina. May I help you?
I like drinking beer. Lovely, lovely beer.
I'm sorry. I'm going to call the police. This is not.
Mom. It's just Nigel.
Nigel, what are you doing?
It's just a joke, Mom. It's a practical joke. You're on the air. Don't.
Nigel, I was getting ready to call the police. I mean, I'm at work.
Mom, it's just a joke. All right.
Nigel, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. I mean, that's very upsetting to me at work.
Mom.
Nigel, if you would just grow up. That's very childish.
Mom, just calm down.
Call sometime when you can really talk.
All right.
Bye.
She didn't speak to me for a couple days after that.
That's so good. I laugh every time. I love it. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Diamonds Direct's unbelievable zero-interest finance offer is coming to a close, but you have until this Sunday to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing on any purchase. Now more than ever, it's the smartest way to buy. You can get that engagement ring or fabulous piece of designer jewelry and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. This amazing offer is good through this weekend only. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get all the details, including special Sunday hours, at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet, security, and voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagle Bill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security Edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment taxes and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Did you know the air you breathe in comes directly from your crawl space? Do you even know what's in your crawl space? Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swainco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, Indy's most trusted, award-winning experts. A dry, healthy crawl space protects the health of your family and your greatest asset, your home. Transform your problem crawl space into a dry, healthy, energy-saving crawl space today and call the real, local, family-owned crawl space experts. Swainco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, 317-407-1868 or SwaincoLLC.com.
The Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ are all dropping like a rock. And unfortunately, we could see even more losses in the months to come. But there is a way you could stop the bleeding. Learn how you could avoid losing another dime with your IRA and 401k. Capture the gains when the market goes up and get a 14% bonus on your retirement funds. It's Terry Stacy, and it doesn't get any better than that. Don't lose another dime with your IRA and 401k. Capture the gains when the market goes up and get a 14% bonus on your retirement funds. To learn more, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-349-5212. Bill's helped my family, and he can help you too. Call 317-349-5212. 317-349-5212.
This is Ryan again, owner of Plumbing, Heating, Paramedics, your trained comfort specialist. Buying a new air conditioner or furnace is a big decision and can be pricey. That's why we recommend getting 3 quotes. Just make sure we are one of them. Why? Because the PHP guarantee says, if I can't beat a competitor's price by 10%, then I will give you $100. Dad always said, do quality work and serve every customer better than your competition. So let our family serve you. Visit saving10%.com and remember, it's hard to stop a train.
I'm your toilet, and we need to talk. It's been 10 years since the Roto-Rooter man tuned me up, yet I just sit here and take your... Remember your cookout, those Cajun deviled eggs you picked up from the gas station? I was the most popular seat in the house. Not anymore. We're finished.
Sometimes things just quit. So make sure to call the company that doesn't. Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Water Cleanup. Yeah, we do both.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Governor Holcomb is headed overseas. Chris Davis reports on what the trip means for you. Greenwood police are looking for the driver who caused a crash involving 2 school buses, and police in Avon are investigating after 2 people were shot inside of a home this afternoon. All that and more after Fox News Radio from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Hurricane Ian makes landfall on the Sobrady. It happened within the past hour near Cayo Costa, one of the barrier islands in the Fort Myers area.
Ian,
made landfall at approximately 3:10 Eastern, west-northwest 20 miles from where I'm standing right now.
Fox Weather's Robert Ray in Fort Myers. The storm coming ashore as a Category 4. Top sustained winds near 150 miles per hour and a storm surge of up to 18 feet expected along Fort Myers Beach.
And indeed, some of the visuals that we're getting out of there from security cameras and other, there are homes with the water up to the roof lines, and I certainly hope that people left, that they heeded the warnings, they didn't stay in those homes.
The storm is so wide and so powerful, the National Hurricane Center is warning of catastrophic flooding in central and northeast Florida as well, with up to 2 feet of rain. Fox Weather's Katie Byrne is in Orlando, where many evacuees from other areas had gone.
What happened was last night the hurricane warnings expanded more inland to include here in Orlando too. So that's scaring some people as they make their final trips to the grocery store, grabbing the supplies they need today before everything boards up.
Statewide, more than 600,000 power outages, a number that has grown quickly. President Biden pledging as much help from the federal government for as long as Florida needs it. Governor Ron DeSantis says once recovery can begin, it'll take time.
This is not anything anyone wants to deal with. It's not something we certainly asked for, but we're going to step up. We're going to be there for folks, and we're going to make sure that folks get back on their feet, and Southwest Florida comes back better than ever.
He's also urging caution once the storm passes because of the dangers of debris, including downed power lines. Wall Street, though, focusing on the positive, the Dow's up 546 points at the closing bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Where your governor is going. 61 degrees with some clouds in downtown Indianapolis. Radar shows some small showers southwest of downtown. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. A week in Germany and Switzerland will be a busy one for Governor Holcomb. Chris Davis reports on why he's going and who's paying for it.
The who pays for it is private donations to the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Some members will be going with the governor and Secretary of Commerce Brad Chambers. The reason is to meet with companies that have an interest in Indiana and do employ people here and potentially will employ more. They leave Sunday. The last day is Thursday. This is the 12th such international trip by the governor, the third one to Germany and Switzerland. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Greenwood police are still looking for the driver who caused a crash between two school buses September 16th.
It's okay, guys. Everybody okay?
Dashcam video released from Greenwood PD today. The car that caused the wreck on US 31 between Fry Road and West Main Street was an H3 Hummer made between 2005 and 2010. If you know anything about who the driver may be, let police know. 2 people shot inside of a home in Avon, and police are investigating. Officers were called to the 7300 block of Glinsford Drive today, which is in a neighborhood just north of US 36. Police haven't said anything about a suspect, but say there's no current threat to the area. The 2 victims were sent to the hospital. Their condition is unknown. A mother left her kid out in the rain, and now she's been sent to rehab. Parker Carlson explains what happened.
What Heather Atkins did was drive miles from their home in Shelbyville with all 3 of her kids to Kentucky, drop off 2 of her kids with a friend, then drive to Ohio, where in the middle of a rainy night, she abandoned her 5-year-old autistic child. Atkins claims that she didn't really want to hurt her son, but pled guilty to child endangerment. Wednesday, Atkins was sentenced to mental health rehab for 6 months, but received no prison time. Parker Carlson, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
With Hurricane Ian hitting Florida, you may be wondering if you'll see some rain in Indiana.
I expect that we're going to stay dry, but can't completely rule it out just yet.
Joe Neild with the National Weather Service. He says if there's any leftover rain from that storm, you likely won't see it until the weekend. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet, security, and voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagleville and autopay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment, taxes, and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Traffic on the 5s at 405. Here's Matt Bear.
Harrison, east side, southbound 465, stop and go traffic from 70 down to Arlington Avenue. And on the south side, eastbound 465, pockets of slow running from 70 over to Emerson. Northeast side, eastbound 465, slows from Keystone Avenue over to I-69. Traffic sponsored by Indeed.com. If you need to hire, you need Indeed, because Indeed's all-in-one hiring solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Another cold night comes your way as temperatures fall to the 40s tonight. Some locations seeing 30-degree temperatures in the overnight hours. By tomorrow afternoon, upper 60s under mostly sunny skies. We continue to track a warming trend that takes us to the 70s by the weekend. I'm Storm Track 8 Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown on 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
All right, Hammer. Hurricane Ian making landfall in southwestern Florida. Category 4 force. Just shy of a Category 5 storm. And let's see. What are we going to go to Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, with the latest.
FEMA Administrator Chris Wells said today that she acknowledged concerns that Florida, as was said, lacks response to the storm so far, and that
Whoa. Give me a break. That is nonsense. Stop politicizing, okay? Stop it. We declared a state of emergency when this thing wasn't even formed. We've had people in here. You've had counties they've done a lot of hard work. And honestly, you're trying to attack me, I get, but you're attacking these other people who've worked very hard. And so that's just totally false. I don't think we've ever, certainly since I've been governor, declared a state of emergency this early. We made sure that we were very inclusive with it. We said that there was a lot of uncertainty, and we've worked to make sure the preparations that have been done and all the stuff, you talk to the people at the counties when they've needed something, stuff gets there very quickly because of what Kevin and his team have done.
So let me set that up just a little bit, because you might not have caught it there at the very beginning. Some liberal reporter was trying to shame Ron DeSantis, saying that his preparation time was slow, and the governor of Florida was having no part of it.
He was trying to set the narrative up through a question. So you're getting criticized a little. Whoa. He shut it down.
Right.
Real quick.
They declared an emergency earlier than any other hurricane in Florida. They've opened up all of the toll roads so nobody has to pay to get to wherever they're going. They've called in help from all over the country, including Task Force 1 from Indiana, who's standing by in Alabama right now, waiting for the call to go in and help and rescue those who may be affected by this. Listen, it's a big, bad, nasty storm. It's a Category 4, almost a 5. 800,000 people are already without power on the southwest portion of Florida here. And you've got this jag-off reporter trying to make this political, shaming Ron DeSantis.
They're all trying to do it, though. What's that clip we played at Klobuchar? Senator Klobuchar yesterday. Look, what this really means, big picture, is you need to vote for Democrats because we'll get rid of the hurricanes for you.
Right. They're going to cure cancer and they're going to get rid of the hurricanes. Make sure you guys are keeping notes on what's going to happen here. And Don Lemon, the newly named morning host at CNN, he brought on somebody from the National Weather Hurricane Center, and he tried to push a climate change narrative, and the straight weather scientist guy at the Hurricane Center shot him down pretty quick.
Can you tell us what this is and what effect the climate change has on this phenomenon?
Well, we could come back and talk about climate change at a later time. I want to focus on the here and now. We think the rapid intensification is probably almost done. There could be a little bit more intensification as it's still over the warm waters of the eastern Gulf of Mexico, but I don't think we're going to get any more rapid intensification.
So listen, I'm just trying to get that. You said you want to talk about climate change, but what effect does climate change have on this phenomenon that is happening now? Because it seems these storms are intensifying. That's the question.
I don't think you can link climate change to any one event.
Okay.
On the whole, on the cumulative, climate change may be making storms worse, but to link it to any one event, I would caution against that.
And the number of hurricanes are down this year substantially. I mean, this is kind of the later stage of hurricane season here, and this is the first major storm that's made its way to the United States.
And this is really the second kind of embarrassing gaffe for Don Lemon in terms of having guests on that put him in his place. It was what was it last week? He was trying to talk about reparations for colonials in the UK or something,
right?
And
the royal family,
having to pay out reparations or something, and his guest was like, "Well, yeah, sure. If you want to talk about reparations, let's start with where it all began with Africans trading other Africans in slavery. We could start there. I mean, that's just one example of how these idiots try to set the narrative with their guests, and it doesn't come anywhere close to working out for them, and they have huge egg on their face. That was embarrassing. He tried 2 different times to get the guy. Talk about it. And he wasn't having it at all. You can tell, obviously, this director of the Hurricane Center was like, no, I'm not talking. You guys could talk about this. I want nothing to do with you and your idiot narrative.
You brought me on to talk about the storm, which is the story. It's a strong Category 4, almost a 5. It's moving very slowly. This is going to be catastrophic. And you want to talk politics with me? No. Good for that hurricane director. But if you think about it, the way Don Lemon asks his questions, the way some of these newspapers word things, are you surprised considering that their guy, the one that they bent over backwards, the one that they colluded with the Democrats to get elected, is this guy?
Let me be clear. If you're in a state where hurricanes often strike, like Florida or the Gulf Coast or into Texas, a vital part of preparing for hurricane season is to get vaccinated now.
Get vaccinated now. Don't worry about buying that generator or groceries or boarding up your windows. Get vaccinated now. Hell, you could go outside on the beach if you're vaccinated. That's according to Joe Biden.
If you're about to get swept away out into the Gulf and the National Guard's trying to save you, no, go back. Don't worry about it. It's vaccinated. He's pointing to his arm. I'm vaccinated. Don't worry. I mean, there's such a long list of things that you need in terms of being prepared for a hurricane. I would say poncho is on there, maybe an umbrella.
Sandbags.
Yeah. Food, dry goods.
Boards for your windows, canned goods, a generator.
Maybe some extra gas.
Bottles of water.
And then, about 533rd on the list, a COVID vaccine.
Right.
An ignoramus.
Speaking of Joe Biden, we've posted the video on our Twitter at Hammer and Nigel. If you missed it earlier, again, a lot of people are laughing. It's ticked me off. I'm angry that this guy is the president. Joe Biden looking around a room trying to figure out why Indiana Rep. Jackie Walorski isn't there, and she died in an automobile accident in August along with some of her aides. This guy's the president. This guy is the commander-in-chief. He's in charge of your sons and daughters of the United States military, and he's looking around the room for somebody that's not alive anymore. If you want to see it for yourself, check it out at Hammer and Nigel. New polling shows that 71% of Americans say their paycheck isn't keeping up with inflation. 62% are stressed about their finances, and 54% say the financial situation is getting worse.
And really, you're getting closer to midterms. That's all people are talking about. That's all they care about. The kitchen table issues, the gas prices. Yeah, maybe they've gone down a little bit, but they're still way up before Joe Biden took over as president. I guess maybe the fact that the Russia-Ukraine situation. The fact that there aren't boots on the ground, American boots on the ground, is probably the only leeway I'd give this president at this point. We're just kind of staying out of the whole thing, even though there's some rumors that we're the ones that kind of put those leaks in the Nord Stream pipelines.
But we're paying to extend it. We are absolutely paying to extend this war.
But we definitely want to bleed Russia dry in that respect, for sure.
All of your tax dollars going to Ukraine to extend this war.
While there's record inflation.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going to say that the gas is, it's Putin's fault. Inflation, Putin's fault. Everything, Putin's fault. Well, then stop paying to extend this war then. And you're right. As we get closer to midterms, it's going to be all about the economy. A lot of stuff is going to be secondary, but the economy is going to be front and center. And you're already seeing some high-profile Democrats kind of go against Joe Biden. Here's old man Bernie Sanders speaking to Seth Meyers, and he's kind of ripping on Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act.
So do you think it's enough for Democrats to run on in the midterms, or do you okay.
No, I don't. Look, what we don't talk about in Congress and we don't talk about in the media is what's going on with working families in this country. And the truth is that the middle class of this country is falling further and further behind. Wages are not keeping up with inflation.
So there's Bernie Sanders, and then you've got Joe Manchin. Not as far left as Bernie is, but he went on that lame duck morning show on CNN, the one that still has Breonna Keeler on it, and he ripped on the student loan forgiveness plan.
I just thought there was other ways that we could do it. I cannot answer when people call me and saying, you're giving X amount of dollars away, 10,000 or 20,000 to this class. How about I paid mine off? Why am I penalized?
So desperate times calling for desperate measures here, and the Democrats are getting desperate.
Would it drive you nuts how thousands of dollars out of your paycheck is going to wind up going to pay for somebody else's college?
I mean, there's so many things that your money is going for.
Yeah.
So many things. And this is why we're in the economic situation that we're in here. So because they can't count on anything they've done well, the Democrats are basically campaigning on anybody that voted for Donald Trump or even considers himself a Republican. You are a racist, you are a fascist, you are a Nazi, and if push comes to shove, the Democrats, the peaceful, tolerant left, they're willing to get a little violent.
This means war. That is where we are. We are at war with these people.
It is a danger to our democracy. It is a danger to our way of life.
The MAGA movement is a threat.
The extremists that we're dealing with every single day, we've got to kill and confront that movement.
Clearly, this is a literally call to arms.
Obviously, Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore.
This is literally what conservative white folks do when they don't get their way. They turn violent.
Clearly, this is a literally call to arms.
Lots of call to arms, killing and confronting movements. I don't see a lot of violent rhetoric coming from the right. It's all left-wing corporate media and politicians.
And I love Elie Mystal on MSNBC. He's the guy that looks like the black Dick Versace with the hair that goes up, saying that when white people don't get their way, they turn violent. All right. Shall we just bring up the summer of love, Ellie? Can we do that? Can we have that conversation? If we're going to have uncomfortable conversations, which is what I was told everybody wanted back in 2020, let's have that conversation. All right, what's going on, Matt Bear?
Looking at the east side, southbound 465 stops before 70 down to Arlington Avenue. South side, eastbound 465 stop and go traffic Kentucky Avenue to Emerson. Inbound 65 jams at 21st and northbound 465 stop and go 86 to 865. Vehicle fire reported Meridian near 62nd. Traffic sponsored by Freegee and Freegee Auctioneers. Freegee and Freegee Auctioneers is hosting a public auction on October 8th in Clayton, Indiana. Details are freegeeauctioneers.com. That's FREIJE auctioneers.com. License AC 312000002. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
62 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
Hey, even if you're not a football fan, you're going to love halftime at Window Nation. Right now, score new windows for your home at half the price. Get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy with no payments until 2025. And at that rate, you could take it to the house, the whole house, and only pay for half.
Window Nation's professional team has drawn up this winning game plan to save you money now and for many seasons ahead. Their beautiful, energy-efficient windows are expertly fit to your home by the installers who average more than 15 years of experience. They've tackled over 250,000 projects and saved homeowners millions of dollars on energy bills alone. With another brutal winter on the way and energy costs continuing to skyrocket, these incredible savings couldn't come at a better time. But Window Nation's halftime is for a limited time. Make the call today and get 2 free windows with every 2 that you buy and pay nothing until 2025. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com and tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Denny Smith for Sundown Gardens. The big fall sales here at Sundown Gardens. 20% off container trees and shrubs, 30% off bald and burlapped evergreen and shade trees, 30% off perennials, and 50% off on Japanese maples. Hurry in for the best selection. Fall's a fantastic time to plant, so follow Sundown Gardens on Facebook and Instagram and make a plan to come visit this week. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, just west of Grand Park, sundown.gardens.com. That's sundown.gardens.com.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
I exclusively use American Standard heating and cooling equipment at my house. Just had a new air conditioner installed. Here's Hammer to talk about one of those fantastic local independent dealers in Central Indy.
Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling in Franklin, in Johnson, and the surrounding counties. You can call Eric Marshall and Mark Chester at your trusted American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling. If you're tired of hearing the ads to get a free air conditioner with a purchase of a furnace and know that that's a straight-up gimmick for other companies, call Marshall for an honest quote. No gimmicks, no games. Make sure your furnace is running safe and efficiently this fall with a furnace tune-up. Ask about how Marshall can help you with your indoor air quality too. If you're on the south side, visit callthemarshallnow.com or give them a call. 317-738-5940. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. For service today.
Marry the house, date the rate. It all starts at thehomeloanexpert.com. Home of the 10-day closing guarantee.
NMLS number 1326241.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Family Heating and Air Conditioning, your independent American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything? On 93 WIBC.
Hammer. How do we play?
I'll run stories by you. You tell us if they're anything or not. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Is this anything? Here's a girl at a Dunkin' drive-thru. I'm sorry, a Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
You got a little hang-up. You still call them Dunkin' Donuts.
Right. Somebody got paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to rebrand, and all they did was take away the word donut, which is like the one word that I want in there. So here's a girl at a Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru in Orlando getting yelled at by the manager. She asked for an oat milk substitution at the very last minute, and apparently that set the manager off.
Please get out of my line, thank you.
Because I'm lactose intolerant.
Can you get out of my line?
No, I just ordered.
And I deleted your order. I'm not making.
Why are you denying my service right now?
Because I am the manager, and I said I'm not giving you any service. Can you please get out of my line?
Okay, and you're the manager.
Yes, I am. Get out of my line, or I will trespass you. Get out of my line.
Wait, can I just ask
I sure will.
Can I
Get
just
out
ask
of
this
my
question?
line.
Can we just get a reason why?
Because I told you the reason why. Now get out of my line. Thank you.
Because I forgot that I was
Okay, get out of
I had
my
to
line
substitute
now.
my dairy.
Get out of my line now.
Okay.
I, without knowing what happened before this, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the girls in the car that were being little twits and messing with the manager in the restaurant. And I'm glad if that's the case. We don't know for sure. I can't really imagine a manager at a Dunkin' kicking somebody out of their line for asking for an oat milk sub at the last minute. I'm sure these idiots in this car were being smart asses and holding up the line or trying to create something to go viral on TikTok.
Or wanting something for free.
Maybe, yeah. And the manager wasn't putting good for the manager for not putting up with that crap. I really just couldn't imagine somebody reacting like that because, hey, by the way, look, I forgot to tell you at the intercom there, but can you do the oat milk substitution? Get the F out of my line right now. I don't see that happening. I think the girls deserved it. Yes, this is something good for the manager.
I gave your mom a milk substitution last night. Get out of my line. See, I could never work at one of these places.
No way.
Is this anything? An Austin couple who have been the target of porch pirates got fed up and they left a bag of dirty diapers for the thieves to steal. Not only did they retaliate by smearing the dirty diapers on their door, the thieves also came back to one-up the insult. Take a listen to this.
When they discovered it was a bunch of dirty diapers, they came back and smeared those diapers on our front door. They came back with a giant bag of cow manure, and so it was a really long day of cleaning a lot of cow feces off of our house that day.
But it's a tool for me. I have a toddler, I work full time, and I have another one on the way. So I use this as a survival tool.
There has to be an end. It's just not okay in my book anymore.
That's when you go to the paintballs. That's when you have somebody hiding out behind the fence and you start unloading paintballs on them, like with an airsoft gun. I'm not saying use any sort of harm on the people, although I really wouldn't mind that either.
Right.
But you get arrested for doing something. You probably get arrested for unloading a paintball gun on them. So the dirty diaper trick for the porch pirates didn't work. They came back and spread the dirty diapers all over the door, which sucks. And, it's illegal to have booby traps in your house. Not this time. You're getting a taser. You're getting a paintball to the face or something like that for sure. Sorry.
Bill O'Reilly calling in next. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Do you need to beat inflation? Golden Oak Lending is here to help. While others are talking about rising interest rates, we are lowering ours.
Inflation has credit card balances at an all-time high. Why pay up to 25% interest when Golden Oak can pay off that debt at 4.75% fixed?
Don't get stuck paying the minimum payments on credit cards. The average homeowner has over $60,000 in equity. You deserve to put that cash to work for you.
Our average cash-out customer saves $904 a month. Call 317-706-GOLD for your free mortgage checkup.
Inflation shouldn't win. Our low mortgage rates and your equity make you the winner. And remember, if we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge.
Call 317-706-GOLD. Lock in your 4.75% rate today.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 4.75% fixed, 5.929% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Nearly 90% of people that struggle with addiction don't get help. Don't wait until it's too late. With Landmark Recovery, you can overcome drug addiction and live a better life. Call Landmark Recovery at 866-LANDMARK or visit landmarkrecovery.com.
At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, our comfort specialist can handle any AC repair. Call 855-1HOUR for $50 off your repair or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Terms and conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's made landfall. 61 degrees in downtown Indianapolis with a clear radar. Low of 43 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:29. Hurricane Ian made landfall in southwest Florida this afternoon. Fox's Eben Brown is in Tampa.
The National Hurricane Center now says Hurricane Ian's landfall occurred at 5 minutes past 3 in the afternoon in Lee County, Florida, near the Cayo Costa State Park. It's just outside the city of Fort Myers. The sustained winds were 150 miles an hour. Blistering winds and harsh rain, about 10 inches on average, have been plaguing much of the Florida peninsula for the past 24 hours. And the arrival of the storm's eye suggests more will be on the way. More than 500,000 power customers are without service right now. In Tampa, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Police are investigating a shooting inside of a Central Arkansas hospital today.
Officers did locate one victim deceased from at least one gunshot wound inside the hospital.
Sherwood Police Chief Jeff Groth says it happened at the St. Vincent Hospital outside of Little Rock. The shooter's in custody. Police say one person died. 2 people were shot inside of a home in Avon, and police are investigating. Officers were sent to the 7300 block of Glensford Drive today. That's a neighborhood just north of US 36. Police haven't said anything about a suspect, but say there's no current threat to the area. The 2 victims were sent to the hospital. Their condition has not been reported. Police in Greenwood are looking for a Hummer H3 and its driver involved in a chain reaction crash. That's from dashcam video from a family recording when the wreck happened. They hit the back of one of 2 school buses. It happened September 16th on US 31 South about 3 p.m. If you know anything about the Hummer or its driver, you're asked to call Greenwood Police. Gas prices are still going up in Indiana. The average price in the state is $3.97 today, according to Gas Buddy. That's up 15 cents from where it was Monday. With your stock report, the Dow was up 548 points to 29,683. The NASDAQ also rising 222 to 11,051. And the S&P 500 up 71 points to close the day at 3,719. With traffic at 431, here's Matt Baer.
Eastbound 465 slows Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. On the east side, southbound 465 stop and go before 70 down to Arlington Avenue. South side, eastbound 465 slow in pockets from Kentucky Avenue over to Emerson. And on the northwest side, northbound 465 stop and go traffic 79th to 865. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Center at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Another cold night comes your way as temperatures fall to the 40s tonight. Some locations seeing 30-degree temperatures in the overnight hours. By tomorrow afternoon, upper 60s under mostly sunny skies. We continue to track a warming trend that takes us to the 70s by the weekend. I'm Storm Track 8 Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown on 93 WIBC.
62 and cloudy in downtown Indy. I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
And we're back. The Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC. Are you ready for a good time?
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. We'll go straight to the drivehubler.com hotline and bring on Bill O'Reilly, author of the new book, Killing the Legends, The Lethal Danger of Celebrity. Bill, I believe I just got my hands on the book. I'm about halfway through chapter 1, The King. Tell me about the book. Seems like this is kind of a little bit of a departure in terms of subject matter as compared to some of your other killing books.
Certainly. This is the 12th killing book. It's about history, but it's cultural history, which is underreported in this country. So you're on the Elvis chapter. Yes. We feature John Lennon and Muhammad Ali. And the overarch is that if you are a celebrity, you are in danger. And even more so today. So let's just take Elvis for a minute. Post-World War II, 1950s, Dwight Eisenhower president, conformity across the land. Not a lot of dissent. People look the same, talk the same. Television just coming in. Everybody's kind of watching Milton Berle. You know, I'm taking you back in history now. All of a sudden, a young teenager from Tupelo, Mississippi, a truck driver, appears on the Ed Sullivan Show, which was the most popular variety program in America. Within the space of 7 minutes, after he sings Hound Dog, American culture changes. It explodes. Pastors say that Presley is Satan, burn his records. Parents are yelling at their boys, you're not going to look like Elvis. You're not slicking your hair back. You're not going to wear the leather jacket. The whole culture is uprooted. Who wins? Elvis wins. The conformity of the 1950s declines dramatically, and the rebel movement, led by James Dean in the movies and Elvis Presley in music, rises. A tremendously important point in American history that is completely overlooked. Then you fast forward to 1964, the Beatles arrive. Between 64 and 69, American culture changes again. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. Who's in the forefront? Lennon and McCartney and the Beatles, driving that magical mystery tour, Sgt. Pepper. And then Muhammad Ali, next to Martin Luther King Jr., is the most dramatic civil rights figure on the planet. So I, as a historian, focus on those three. And what they have in common is two things. Number one, all of them were betrayed by people close to them. Number two, all of them were crushed by celebrity, and it led to their demise.
Well, I would say maybe a third component, too, and I see this with a lot of rock and roll documentaries that I read, is that they grew up poor, almost with nothing.
That's right, and they were uneducated, but they were shrewd.
Yes.
Okay, these were not unintelligent men, but they lost control of their lives because of the intense pressure put upon celebrities. And it's worse now than ever with the social media. Look, this is a partial list. Jimi Hendrix, River Phoenix, Kurt Cobain, Princess Diana, Heath Ledger, James Dean, Prince, Michael Jackson, Karen Carpenter, Amy Winehouse, John Belushi, Marilyn Monroe. It never ends.
I could give you one I was just reading about today, Anthony Bourdain, and how depressed and suicidal he was with all the fame and all the fortune. I was just reading today about how the celebrity chef hated his job, hated his fans. His final days were with prostitutes and drugs, and it's like these guys seem to be chasing something finite, something that is, you're just kind of chasing a feeling that's a meaningless existence, so to speak.
Well, it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah,
I mean, there are some celebrities that survive, but the pressure, people don't understand it. It's a blood sport now. And I mean, I'm part of it. So when I became famous in doing the O'Reilly Factor, there was a target on my back. Now, I should have known it because I was talking about politics. I wasn't singing songs. I should have known it, but I didn't. And I wasn't prepared for the hatred that came my way, which affected my family, affected every part of my life. All right? And so I was caught by surprise, as was Presley, not prepared. Lennon, not prepared. Ali, a little bit different because Ali sold himself to the Nation of Islam. And they were the ones that exploited him and ruined him. And you'll see when you read the book how that evolved. But it is almost impossible if you are a famous person in America today, and this extends to politics, particularly Biden and Trump. Okay, it's impossible. Every time you go out, you're being recorded. You're being photographed. You're being followed. People want to hurt you. Not all people. Most don't. When I go out in public, 95% of people are very nice to me. But there's always that 5%, as John Lennon found out, that can end it quickly.
Chatting with Bill O'Reilly, longtime commentator and best-selling author, Killing the Legends. It's available now. Bill, I'm reading through this chapter on John Lennon, and you mentioned the inner circle a little bit earlier, and this was fascinating to me. You have a great part in this book about George Harrison. Now, you would think a guy like George Harrison would be supportive, this great guy to his fellow bandmate, but the impression that I got, not only was George ready for the Beatles to break up, he saw the demise of the band and the demise of Lennon as an opportunity for his own financial growth.
Yeah, Harrison was always the outlier. Ringo was the drummer, but Ringo had this personality that transcended the band in some extent. And then, of course, McCartney and Lennon drove the creative process. And Harrison was created, but Lennon diminished him, denigrated him. And that was one of the parts of the dissolution of the band, and Harrison did do well on his own when he left. But as far as the Beatles are concerned, American historians, they're snobs, generally speaking, which is why the Killing series, the most successful nonfiction book series in history, because I'm not a snob. And they Elvis, the Beatles, we have more important things. We have to talk about Millard Fillmore. Oh, yeah, okay. The way we live today was shaped by these three men, particularly in the African-American community with Ali. And that has just been ignored. But what's even more frightening to me, and the most important part of this book, is our leadership today is under the same kind of pressure. I mean, Donald Trump is the best example. He loves being a celebrity, and he can't stop being one. He has to be in the center of attention all the time. That has hurt him. It has hurt him. Maybe he doesn't even know it, but it has. Joe Biden sold out every single principle he had, every one, in order to get the nomination to be president. The progressives said, you need to do this, and he did it, which totally went against what he did and said when he was a senator. He did it for fame and celebrity. And I'll submit to you, but both of those men are getting crushed by this phenomenon.
I couldn't imagine the amount of pressure. You know Donald Trump. You've interviewed him. You've went on speaking tours with him since his administration ended. But I imagine the amount of pressure. You talk about pressure and spotlight during the height of the pandemic, where I can imagine the pressure that he and VP Pence were under, and the constant spotlight and those daily 3-hour press conferences.
Look, you sign on for the job, and you know what the job entails. What Donald Trump, Bill O'Reilly, Joe Biden, every single human being who's ever become famous don't understand is the emotional whack, the daily emotional hit that you take. And many people can't handle it, so they turn to drugs. The Beatles broke up because John Lennon became a heroin addict. That's why they broke up. That had not been reported. It's a prominent part of killing the legends. Why? Why would you do this? Why would you take such a self-destructive act? Elvis Presley, you look at him in 1967 when he did the comeback special on NBC. There he is in his leather outfit. He's looking great, sounding great. 10 years later, if you look at him, is this the same human being?
Early 40s.
Did he not have mirrors in Graceland? Could he not see what he was doing to himself? And this is what I'm trying to get across.
Did he not care?
I don't know whether I'm not a psychiatrist, but the situation gets out of control fast. So I have said many times to President Trump, you don't need to fight all these fights. You don't need to be in the spotlight every second. That is hurting you. It's hurting your ability to think. It's hurting your ability to interact with other people. You know, just choose your battles. Choose them. But you know, when you get into that adrenaline rush of celebrity, that's the most powerful narcotic of all.
Bill O'Reilly from BillO'Reilly.com and author of the new book, Killing the Legends. We're going to hold you over for one more segment. Definitely want to ask you about the midterms and possibly what you see happening in 2024 with Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and maybe even Ron DeSantis. More Bill O'Reilly next on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
When physical therapy didn't work, when rest and medication didn't do the job, when your doctor says now's the time, Rise up to back and neck pain with spine surgery from IU Health. We offer convenient access to highly skilled spine surgeons from Indiana's only nationally recognized healthcare system. Our team of multidisciplinary specialists work together on the best surgical option to get you back to doing the things you love. Visit iuhealth.org/spinecare to learn more.
The Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ are all dropping like a rock. And unfortunately, we could see even more losses in the months to come. But there is a way you could stop the bleeding. Learn how you could avoid losing another dime with your IRA and 401k. Capture the gains when the market goes up and get a 14% bonus on your retirement funds. It's Terry Stacy, and it doesn't get any better than that. Don't lose another dime with your IRA and 401k. Capture the gains when the market goes up and get a 14% bonus on your retirement funds. To learn more, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-349-5212. Bill's helped my family, and he can help you too. Call 317-349-5212. 317-349-5212.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet, security, and voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagle Bill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security Edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment taxes and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here, letting you know when you need plumbing help, call who I call, my friends at Hope Plumbing. Not only are they experts in their field who respect the true value of customer service, they also love giving back to this community, which is evident in their new referral program. If you refer a friend, Hope Plumbing will give you and the referral a $50 gift card to a local restaurant. Great plumbing and supporting local restaurants. For more information, visit hopeplumbing.com.
Are these uncertain times making you nervous? Give Family Heating and Air a call at 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub.
Ah, Royal Spa.
All right, Matt Baer, what's the latest?
Crash inbound 69 after 82nd Street on the right shoulder. Slow back to 96. Eastbound 465 stop and go Westfield Boulevard over to I-69. South side. Eastbound 465 stop and go traffic 72 to the White River. And again, Harding over to Emerson Avenue. And southbound 465 east side version slows from 70 down to 74. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
62 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
And away we go! The Hammer and Nigel Show. 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Back to the DriveHubler.com hotline with Bill O'Reilly, the new book, Killing the Legends, The Lethal Danger of Celebrity, covering the deaths of John Lennon, Elvis Presley, and Muhammad Ali.
Bill, talking about Muhammad Ali here, I think the closest thing for a lot of people here in Indianapolis that they can relate to was the prime of Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was a Super Bowl winner. He hosted Saturday Night Live. He's a most valuable player. He does every single commercial on the biggest sport in the world. This was a guy that could not go anywhere in Indianapolis without somebody wanting a picture, doing a video, things like that. But it seemed like Peyton was one of those guys that kind of embraced it. He didn't really have too many people that hated him. It was the total opposite effect here in Indianapolis. So is it easier to be a celebrity of that stature now? Even though there's more video cameras and social media, and you could argue drugs now than there were back when Elvis was around, Muhammad Ali was around, is it easier to be a celebrity now?
No. And the reason that Peyton and Eli Manning have fielded their celebrity so well is because of their father, Archie Manning. And Archie Manning and his wife, Olivia, from the very beginning knew that their boys were going to be sports superstars. And so they were raised to learn how to cope with that. And they have succeeded. We don't know internally, what goes on, but certainly Peyton and Eli Manning have handled themselves well. Well, Elvis Presley didn't have that. John Lennon didn't even have a mom and dad. I mean, they were paying attention to him. Ali, chaotic upbringing. So they didn't have any of that. They had to bring in outsiders to help them get through life, and the outsiders, most of them betrayed them. That's the key. Now, today, if you are a celebrity, you have absolutely no privacy at all. None. You mentioned Peyton Manning. What about Tom Brady? So Tom Brady, I know him. He's very smart, okay? And he's not some kind of guy who's going to do crazy stuff. But he makes the mistake of putting his family and personal life in the press all the time. And now it's boomeranged on him. Because you can't play that. You can't play the Kardashian game, the J-Lo game, and survive it. They're coming for you. I mean, in my case, I've spent millions of dollars on attorneys to protect me. And I can't go to Indianapolis and watch the Colts and sit in the stands. I'd have to sit with you guys in the luxury boxes.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I can't.
But I've noticed, and one of the things I noticed about you is I don't know what your kids look like. I know you have one maybe looking at colleges or
I keep them out of the public eye.
Exactly.
And absolutely. And they are trained. They're both in college. One's in law school, one's in college. But they have been trained, and they have seen what happened to me, and they love me, and they know how insane it was, but they know, okay, the danger. So the danger has been processed in the O'Reilly household, but in Lennon and Presley and Ali's world, that danger was never fully realized. They didn't understand how to cope with it, and it destroyed them. Marilyn Monroe, another perfect example.
Just a couple more minutes here with Bill O'Reilly, the new book, Killing the Legends, The Lethal Danger of Celebrity. We're a few weeks away from the midterms. First, there was going to be a red wave. Then the summer kind of took over, and there was going to be, now that you look like Joe Biden's getting some decent polling, and now we're back to the red wave again, I feel like, Bill. I think you're going to see big seat turnovers in the House. What about the Senate? What are you seeing come midterms?
Well, still undefined in the Senate. I think you're right about the House. Big-time Republican victory in the House of Representatives. But the problem with the Senate is that there are a lot of bad candidates on both parties, in both parties. And when you run a state race, the national media doesn't really lock into what's happening on a daily basis. I can't cover what's happening in New Hampshire and Arizona. I just don't have time. When I do the No Spin News every night, and you can get that on BillO'Reilly.com, we basically are doing the overarch of what the trends are. But there is no question that the Biden administration has destroyed the American economy.
Yeah.
Think back 2 years. We had the most vibrant economy in modern times, energy independent, 1.3% inflation. Just 2 years ago. This guy gets in, and everything is out of whack. You would think that people would vote their own self-interest and say, you know what? This progressive Democratic Party is not cutting it. And I don't care who's running on the other side. I'm not going to vote for them.
No way Joe Biden's running in 2024, right?
No, I said that a year ago.
Yeah.
I think I told you guys that
did.
when we were promoting Killing the Killers. I think I told you guys that. There's just no way he's going to run. And he hedged on 60 Minutes. You saw it. He knows he can't run. He's barely. He may not make the next 2 years. You might see a resignation for health reasons. That's how bad this man is performing.
And then the key is the Republicans in 2024. Is it going to be Trump? Is it going to be DeSantis? Are we going to see a GOP primary? I want to see a primary. I'm all for a primary in that case if they both decide to run. Do you?
You're not getting it.
No?
Never happened. Look, Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, will be reelected in November.
Yep.
He's 44 years old. All right, he's not going after Donald Trump and alienating all of those MAGA people because if you primary Trump, you go to attack Trump. Have to. There's no other way to do it. All right, so what could happen would be that Trump goes to DeSantis and says, you want to be number 2? And in 4 years, you walk into the White House. I think DeSantis would take that deal. He'd have to leave Florida as a resident, but he just drives up to southern Georgia, gets an apartment, and there you go. Okay? So Trump-DeSantis ticket 24, pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And that is what I see. But Donald Trump is not predictable. You can't even say he's going to run because you don't know what's going to happen. DeSantis is setting up his run. But I don't think he'll go up against Trump if Trump decides to go in.
Killing the Legends, the very latest from Bill O'Reilly, author of 18 #1 bestsellers. I'll be finished with the book this weekend, Bill, and you're welcome back anytime. We'd love to have you a little bit when the primaries.
We'll talk again before the midterms, and I really appreciate you guys reading the book. It's very nice of you to do it.
All right, have a great week, Bill.
Okay, bye.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Family Dollar has the spookiest deals to help you do more for your family this Halloween. Stop by and start booing things up with our huge variety of outdoor and indoor Halloween decorations. Discover a great selection of costume accessories to complete the perfect look. And of course, find all your favorite treats. For a limited time, select bags of Halloween candy, including Snickers, M&Ms, and Reese's, are buy 2, get 1 free. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Kicking off NFL Week 4 off right with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel. That's America's #1 sports book that I use all the time. And it doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or you already have an account. You're going to get free bets back if your Thursday night football game same-game parlay does not hit. NFL same-game parlays are my favorite. They're the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at an even bigger payday, right? So it's the Dolphins and the Bengals Thursday night. You can build out your own same-game parlay any way you want. Since he's running back, over rushing yards. Maybe their wide receiver to score a touchdown and combine that with the Dolphins wide receiver over in yards. Or you could choose from one of the popular same-game parlays that are pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. Just sign up with promo code WIBC if you don't already have an account. That's promo code WIBC, and you can make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Indiana. 3+ legs. Minimum $1 bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bets $5. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-8-WITH-IT.
Hi, this is Denny Smith. Are your energy bills starting to scare you? Why don't you take back your budget by upgrading to a Trane HVAC system today? Did you know you can save up to 64% off your current heating and cooling costs? Well, you can. And as a former HVAC contractor myself, it really is hard to stop a Trane because their systems literally provide intuitive comfort. Want to learn more? Call Precision Comfort Systems at 317-867-2554, or you can find them at precisioncomfort.com.
Diamonds Direct's unbelievable zero-interest finance offer is coming to a close, but you have until this Sunday to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing on any purchase. Now more than ever, it's the smartest way to buy. You can get that engagement ring or fabulous piece of designer jewelry and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. This amazing offer is good through this weekend only. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get all the details, including special Sunday hours, at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. The days of multiple offers are behind us, and it's officially a buyer's market. And although interest rates are a little higher than they were this time last year, the lower sale price should more than make up for it. And when rates do come back down, we can always do a simple refinance to lower your monthly payment. Marry the house, date the rate. thehomeloanexpert.com, home of the 10-day closing guarantee. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
When treating patients with cancer,
There's no such thing as too much teamwork. At Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, your circle of support includes a team of multiple specialists working together to treat your specific type of cancer. There's no better way to put together a treatment plan, and there's no other place to get this level of care in the region. Learn more about Community MD Anderson at ecommunity.com/cancer.
The big fall sales here at Sundown Gardens, 20 to 50% off nursery items and selected perennials, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Coming up in 2 minutes, police in Greenwood are looking for the person who caused a crash with 2 school buses. Avon police are investigating after 2 people were shot inside of a home today, and John Herrick reports on the chances Hurricane Ian brings rain to Indiana. All that and more after Fox News Radio from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
It's big, bad, and slow. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Hurricane Ian hitting southwest Florida as a Category 4 storm, making landfall on Cayo Costa, the same barrier island hit by Charlie in 2004, and only moving at 9 miles an hour.
Imagine if you've got 150-mile-an-hour wind, so even 100-mile-an-hour wind that hits you for a minute. That's one thing. Have it hit you for an hour or hit you in a prolonged period of time, that just causes all kinds of additional damage.
And Fox Chief Meteorologist Rick Reichmuth says it will cut across the state.
The National Weather Service doesn't do this very often, where they issue a high risk for flash flooding. We've got this even all the way across the eastern shore here of Florida, the other coast, because of this prolonged period of very heavy rain.
Up to 2 feet of rain possible around Daytona Beach. Power outages rapidly expanding to at least 1 million reported statewide. But the top concern for now is the area getting the worst of Ian in southwest Florida. Fox's Steve Harrigan is in Charlotte County, near where the storm made landfall and where winds have picked up again after the eye passed over.
And we're still hearing tin and aluminum just crash around me. The storm, the winds have been powerful enough to snap trees, to knock down even palm trees, as they're picking up once again now, and also to knock down parts of the buildings around us.
Meantime, Governor Ron DeSantis scheduled to hold his latest briefing at this hour. President Biden pledging to be there every step of the way for Florida.
When the storm passes, the federal government's going to be there to help you recover. We'll be there to help you clean up and rebuild, to help you get Florida get moving again.
The federal response includes hundreds of FEMA personnel and other pre-positioned resources. Governor DeSantis just requesting a major disaster declaration from the president for all 67 Florida counties. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Looking for who's responsible. Cloudy, 61 downtown with a small shower southwest of Indy. Expect lows into the 40s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. 2 school buses were involved in a chain reaction wreck on US 31 in Greenwood September 16th. Chris Davis reports Greenwood police are looking for a Hummer and a driver they believe responsible.
You never forget the sound or the shock of a big, bad wreck. The family who gave police their dash cam video was behind one of the buses and hit its back corner after the Hummer slammed on brakes, got hit by one of the 2 buses, and then took off.
Calm down, guys. They just slammed on their brakes.
2 adults on one of the buses were hurt, and police want info about the Hummer and the driver. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
2 people were shot inside of a home in Avon, and police are investigating. Officers were called to the 7300 block of Glensford Drive today. That's in a neighborhood just north of US 36. Police haven't said anything about a suspect, but say there's no current threat to the area. The victims were sent to a hospital. Their condition is currently unknown. Governor Holcomb will leave for Europe Sunday for an economic development trip. He'll be going to Germany and Switzerland Ireland, and the cost is being covered thanks to private donations to the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Holcomb says the trip could bring European companies to the state, providing more jobs for Hoosiers. It's not uncommon for Indiana to get what's left over from a hurricane. John Herrick reports on the possibilities with Hurricane Ian.
When Ian eventually weakens to a tropical storm or lower, that's when there will be light rain showers, but those may steer clear of the Hoosier state.
Things have been trending more to the eastward, so I expect that we're going to stay dry, but can't completely rule it out just yet.
Joe Neild with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says it will eventually warm up into the 70s this weekend, but you could see frost at times if you wake up early over the next few mornings. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
As a Shane Company jewelry consultant, I see so many customers who have struggled to find a wedding band at other stores. When they come to Shane Company, they find the one. Not only do we have the widest selection of unique wedding bands, we are also experts at helping you find the perfect band to complement your engagement ring, even if it's an heirloom ring. You can play around with stacking bands, try contour bands, or just go with something simple. There are so many options. We also have handsome men's bands, hundreds of styles to choose from in every price range. You might have no idea what you want, but we'll take the time to show you different metal types, fits, and styles. You can even build your own with our online tool. And we offer a free lifetime warranty. Come see us and we'll help you both find a band that you love wearing every day. For some helpful tips, check out our online wedding band guide.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Bear.
Inbound 69 crash after 82nd Street, Blanky, the right shoulder. We are backed up to 96. And then on the west side, northbound 465, crash after West 38th Street on the right shoulder involving a box truck. Slow back to West 38th Street. East side, southbound 465 jams at 70 down to 74. Northbound 465, stop and go traffic before 74 up to I-70 and on that ramp to eastbound 70 towards Hancock County. Traffic sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store, staplesconnect.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Prepare for another very cold night in the forecast as temperatures fall to the 40s. These numbers are below normal for this time of year, and you'll have a cold start to your day on your Thursday. You'll need the heavier jacket or the coat as you head out the door. By afternoon, warming slightly. Expect highs in the upper 60s under mostly sunny skies. Winds light to breezy depending on your location. That warming trend takes us to the 70s by the weekend, keeping the rain away from most of the state. I'm Storm Track 8 Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown on 93 WIBC.
62 and cloudy downtown. I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
All right, Hammer. Hurricane Ian has arrived in Florida. It's a high-end Category 4 storm on the cusp of being a Cat 5. We're talking Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Naples, Sanibel Island are some of the names and locations I'm reading right now. Just a few miles, a few miles per hour shy of a Category 5 intensity. Winds sustaining like 150 miles an hour right now.
12 to 16 feet storm surge possible in the coastal areas. And earlier, if you scroll through social media, you might have seen this. The water in Tampa Bay was sucked out a little bit, kind of like what you would see during like a tsunami, but the water in the bay was pulled out. And this is similar to what happened when Irma hit the same area in Tampa about 5 years ago. So this storm, it is a big, bad mamma jamma.
It is.
1 million people already without power.
Crap, did you see that? Wow. I didn't see the 1 million mark. Man, now Tampa, I'm reading, is likely to see a little bit lower of a surge like 4 to 6 feet than all the areas that I mentioned at the beginning of this segment south do, just purely due to the storm's track. But yeah, I'm looking at the Bayshore Boulevard, which is a very popular area along Tampa. All the water is retreated away from that seawall.
And if you see the aerial shot of this storm, like the NASA pictures from the International Space Station, it is massive. To put this in perspective here, of this Hurricane Ian, you could put all of 2004's Hurricane Charlie just into Ian's eye. Charlie was another big storm that made its way through the Gulf area in southwest Florida. You could put that whole hurricane just in the eye of Ian. This is Stephanie Abrams from the Weather Channel.
This is a Category 4 hurricane with winds at 155 miles an hour. To be a Category 5, the winds have to be 157 miles an hour or greater. Now, does this get technically to a Category 5 or not? It doesn't matter. Because I'll tell you what, 155 versus 157, you're not going to see a difference here in the effects from that. So let's not get hung up on the category. We'll talk about that, as a technicality, as science, that sort of thing. But you are going to see catastrophic effects from the wind from this and the surge. The surge now forecast to get up to 18 feet, anywhere from Inglewood down to Bonita Beach, where I'm located here. And that's going to rise up. And then the problem is this thing is not moving at a very fast clip. And so that water could stay out for a bit. It will take a while for it to go down.
That's the thing. It's moving so slow.
Yeah, and that footage you retweeted of Cantori from the Weather Channel, I don't know where he's at, one of those cities on the southwestern coast, and he gets nailed by a giant tree branch.
I mean, he loves doing that kind of stuff, too.
Yeah, 100-mile-an-hour winds.
Because I've seen people on social media say, I can't believe the Weather Channel is putting him out there in that conditions. I can guarantee you Cantori probably volunteered to be out there for that. He's out there yelling at the hurricane like Lieutenant Dan is in Forrest Gump. All right, we're going to have a showdown. Man, you. Like Cantori, he's kind of like me. He loves covering this kind of stuff. So he's out there with the batting helmet on. Now, there were mass evacuations, mandatory evacuations, but you can't always get everybody. We spoke to one of your friends earlier, Nigel Marco, who used to do radio here in Indianapolis. Yep. He's writing it out.
He's down in the Tampa-St. Pete area, and like I mentioned just a minute ago, they aren't getting it nearly as bad as maybe they thought. And his thing was like, look, DeSantis, they've put a lot of money and resources into helping people out and protecting the community and making sure people are okay. Some of these other places, I could definitely see this footage, especially the southern Florida, where those places I mentioned earlier are just getting nailed right now. Tampa looks to be okay right now, so he's one of those guys that did evacuate during Irma, and he kind of regretted it, and so he's taking it seriously. Boarded up his house, he's got the generators going, and got the supplies, got plenty of beer. But no, he's taking it very seriously. But yeah, there are some other places in Florida where nobody needs to be around this place right now.
Did you see that report from News Nation where this was earlier today, before the storm officially made its way onto land, where there's a group of people who live on boats out by the water.
Yeah, no.
And they chose to ride it out.
It's supposed to be a little worse than most of the other ones as far as that's concerned, but, it's wind and water. If you know what we're doing, we're all set.
Some people would think you're nuts to stay out here on your boat, though. They've got the mandatory evacuations. What do you think about leaving?
No, I'm here. I'm here. People on that boat, people on the next boat, people on the boat 2 boats down. There's probably 15 of us right here all together, and we're all ride the storm out.
Yeah, it's wind and water, although he failed to mention the third component in a hurricane, which is wind at 155 miles an hour.
Well, he did mention wind and water.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, rain, water. No, he didn't mention the miles per hour. 150 mile per hour winds. Okay. Yeah, no big deal. That's one of those things where I'd be like, okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah, living on your boat and riding it out, it's vastly different than living in your house and boarding up and something like that. All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
West side crash, northbound 465 north of West 38th Street. Vehicle really got messed up here. Turned around in the right lane. Right lane is blocked with traffic stopped from West 46th Street back to I-74. Inbound 69, it's a crash after 82nd, blocking the right shoulder. Traffic backed up to 96. And both directions on the east side of 465, stop and go traffic from 74 to I-70, vice versa. Traffic sponsored by BJ's Wholesale Club. BJ's Wholesale Club is now open in Noblesville. BJ's has up to 25% off grocery store prices. Visit bjs.com/Noblesville or the new location at 13210 Taylor Drive to join today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
63 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. We've got Tony Kennett coming up at 5:33. We've got Casey Daniels coming in next for the side piece. But real quick, caller number 9, 239-9393. We're going to give you a couple tickets to go see Killer Queen, a tribute to Queen at the Egyptian Room in October. All you have to do is be caller number 9. That's it. 239-9393.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box, all for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible gateway.
Yeah, with home values reaching all-time highs and Golden Oak's low 4.75% rate, you could pull more cash out of your home. You know, the average homeowner has gained about $64,000 in home equity since last year. You could use that money to pay off credit card debt with the fixed rate cash out refi from Golden Oak Lending, saving you hundreds of dollars every month.
Find out how much you could save with Zipline. Zipline is Golden Oak Lending's fast and easy online mortgage tool. The average cash out customer saves $904 a month. $904, and that's just the average. Find out how much you could save at goldenoaklending.com or give them a call, 317-706-GOLD. That's 706-GOLD. NMLS 114937, 4.75% fixed, 5.929% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Recovery is courage. In a culture where there's a stigma around recovery, I've learned to have the courage to tell my story to inspire courage in others. I know one of the hardest things to do is to have the courage to start recovery. I've gotten to live the life of my dreams simply by having the courage to say, it is time for a change in my life. Find the courage to live a healthier you by visiting landmarkrecovery.com or call 1-866-LANDMARK today.
When physical therapy didn't work, when rest and medication didn't do the job, when your doctor says now's the time, rise up to back and neck pain with spine surgery from IU Health. We offer convenient access to highly skilled spine surgeons from Indiana's only nationally recognized healthcare system. Our team of multidisciplinary specialists work together on the best surgical option to get you back to doing the things you love. Visit iuhealth.org/spinecare to learn more.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains. Co-owner Dave Magine says patchwork fixes to an old unit only waste money in today's economy.
Waiting to replace your AC isn't saving you any money. Replacing now will lower your cooling bills. You have peace of mind with an extended warranty, and the cost of material and labor is going up. Go to bplusw.com.
That's B, the word plus, W.com for B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's Rob Kendall
from my incredible friends at Life Church. By now, most of you know friend of the show, Pastor Micah Beckwith. And most of you are aware, in addition to being a trusted conservative fighter, he's also part of the Life Church community that would love to welcome you and your family. They've got 4 campuses, including Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, plus online services. Learn more about Micah, Nathan, and the rest of Life Church by visiting their website at lifechurchin.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Family Heating and Air Conditioning, your independent American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Also joining us live in studio, Casey Daniels from the Kendall and Casey Show. It's the side piece. How are you?
I'm good. It smells like beer in here.
Well, earlier, it's because we were chugging beer on live TV for our Wish TV hit. It is National Beer Day, after all.
I like that you chose a nice cold Miller Lite.
Well,
yeah, we're not beer snobs around here. Like some people, they have to have a pale ale.
Our boss,
IPA.
David Wood. David Wood turns up his nose at like if he sees me walking around here with a Miller Lite, he'd be like, "Hey, how's the spring water?"
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like I'm the
how's
kind of
the
guy
sparkling
that
water?
after I cut my grass, I don't want to drink molasses. I want a cold
Right.
Miller Lite, Coors Light. I could do something like that. I'm
Something
a cheap
that's going
date.
to quench your thirst, huh? Now, I prefer a stout or what's the other one? A porter. And I never
Sure.
knew this. For years, I thought that I liked the light beer, like Leinenkugel or something.
Nothing wrong with that.
Summer Shanty, and that's what I ordered for years. Finally, one day, I did a flight of beers. And
Yeah, I love those.
I found out that I like stout and porter, which is totally opposite of the light IPAs and the light beers.
We were talking about this the other day, Nige. The best time to have a flight of beers is at the airport when you're getting ready to go on vacation. Like if you can get a line up flight of beers,
Yeah.
man, that just hits the spot right before you go
That's
on
how
vacation.
you start. Yes, you know you're on vacation when you can do a flight of beers, right?
I still haven't been to the Sun King area in the Indianapolis International Airport. Now, Wednesday, I'm supposed to fly down to Sarasota.
What?
So we'll see if that happens. Yeah. Why? You don't believe me that I'm going to Florida or that I haven't been to the Sun King in the
Casey,
airport?
if you're shocked that Nigel's leaving and missing work, then you haven't been here long enough.
No, that's not the part that surprises me. The part is, the part that surprises me
The
is
Sun King,
the
yeah.
Sun King part and the fact that you're flying to Florida.
Well, I mean, look.
You're supposed to. That's the plan?
Yeah. So I heard you say that we're keeping an eye on Hurricane Ian, obviously, and its landfall here in Florida, but down in Florida, what you've been through several of these?
Yeah.
Is that what I heard you say earlier today on the Kendall and Casey show?
Yeah, well, I lived in Tallahassee for a while, and hurricane season lasts from June until November, and that's no joke. They just come rolling in one after the other. Nothing like Ian that they're dealing with now. Tallahassee's a little bit more landlocked, so by the time it gets there, it kind of settles down just a bit. But the thing about hurricanes that I noticed that I never knew before I lived down in Florida, it's not just the wind and the hurricane. There's a ton of tornadoes that happen throughout the hurricane, and it's the storm surge that comes up and the flooding, of course. But then it's after the hurricane. When it passes through, you're sitting there, the power goes out.
Yeah.
You don't have the water. All of the first responders are helping people who didn't evacuate or didn't prepare. And then I was always surprised the radio station that I was at had so many tree removal services as advertisers. Well, after you live through a hurricane, you realize why, because all of those trees are just down everywhere.
Did you ever have to evacuate? Did you say, I got to get the F out of here? Or did you stick through it? I mean, did you use boards on your windows? What'd you do?
Yeah, I stuck through it. Well, I was in an apartment, and it was up on the second floor, so nothing ground level. But I do remember one time the morning guy from the radio station calling me, and he said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." Well, why? Why do you ask? And he said, "Well, because a tornado touched down a mile from where you live."
Man.
And that's what you have to deal with. deal with.
That's what Stephanie Mead from Wish was telling us yesterday. It's like we focus on the storm surge. We focus on the sustained winds from this hurricane, but the things that spawn off because of that, those side tornadoes and, those severe thunderstorms, those cause a lot of damage too.
Yeah, they're just as dangerous. And hopefully most of the people heeded the warning of Ron DeSantis to evacuate if they could. And you always have those stubborn people who think that, I'm better than a hurricane. I can last through this.
We spoke to some earlier.
Yeah, there are people, like a buddy of mine, and luckily he lives in Tampa. It looks like maybe some of it's going to the most severe parts of the hurricane possibly are going to miss Tampa. But I mean, he, speaking of National Beer Day, he prepped. He's got 3 dirty 30 cases of Busch Light. He's got generators. He's got sandbags. And so it's not like he is sitting there unprepared.
Doing nothing.
But, my in-laws also live in Tampa, St. Pete. They took off for Atlanta a couple of days ago, so they're staying up there. So it's one and the other here, man. And honestly, I don't know what Sarasota Brighton is going to look like next week.
Yeah, I hope, it's good that they left when they could, because it's those stubborn people who think that they don't need to leave that are the ones that need saving after the fact.
And it was a trip earlier, and I saw that the water in the Tampa Bay had receded, almost like a tsunami was coming.
Yeah, it sucked all of it out before it's all going to come rushing back
in. And it
in.
did this a number of years ago, I think when Hurricane Charlie hit. I probably have the hurricane wrong, but I believe it was Charlie, did the same thing. And man, when it comes back with a vengeance.
Don't you think they should rename hurricanes something else? I mean, when I was down in Florida, there was Hurricane Nana. What, is she going to give you a butterscotch?
Right.
Hurricane Dolly. These don't sound very threatening.
Hurricane Samuel L. Jackson, I would flee from.
Yeah, it would be like, hurricane gonna kick you in the ass. Okay, I'm leaving. They should have more menacing names to them to symbolize what they are.
Hurricane Hitler. I mean, if we're going to go there, let's go there.
Okay.
All right.
Don't give Hillary Clinton and the Democrats any ideas.
I was going to say, Hillary did that over the weekend. Did you see that, Casey?
Yeah,
Did you see this?
You used to be
Texas?
deplorable, then you were a semi-fascist, now you're just a flat-out Nazi if you support Trump, or if you're a Republican for that matter. And what's going on with that Texas Tribune Festival? All of those people that were there speaking, can you imagine if you guys showed up?
What I've noticed about these festivals is that depending on what type of festival it is, the people that attend, sometimes they just want to be there for the show. They don't want to hear the speech. We've heard Ilhan Omar booed at a concert before, a super left-leaning concert. We had Pelosi booed off the stage at a super left-leaning concert recently. I don't think a lot of these people give a blue rat's rear end what politicians think. They just want to see the show.
Or they just want to boo someone. Liz Cheney was the grand finale speaker. How about that? It's the grand finale. But back to Hillary saying that Republicans and MAGA Republicans are like Hitler. Let's get something straight. Hitler killed 25 million people, okay? That's a little different from being patriotic and wanting to protect your country.
But these people don't see any difference, though, Casey. We've heard it for months now. They can't focus on any accomplishments they have because they don't have any. So all they can do is just say, there's no difference between a regular Republican conservative voter and a Donald Trump superfan. All of you guys are the same, and you could storm the Capitol at any moment.
Yeah, well, wasn't it Biden who gave the Dark Soul of the Nation speech in front of a blood-red backdrop with armed Marines, protecting his speech of divisiveness?
Speech from hell.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
Yeah. So really.
And I think they purposely keep, like, I still haven't been able to specifically define what an extreme MAGA Republican is. And I think they keep it vague so they're able to paint everybody that votes Republican with that broad brush.
Yeah, exactly. That's a broad stroke that if you don't agree with them, then you're a Nazi. You're a semi-fascist.
So if you're somebody that just wants a secure border, a good job market, and less government spending, are you an extremist?
Yes, you're completely evil. Well, in their eyes, right?
It's so ridiculous.
What if maybe you... maybe you're pro-choice up to a certain number of weeks, but you think that the late-term abortions are abominable. Well, what does that make you? Does that still make you an extremist?
Well, that depends on who you vote for, right? In their eyes, if you're not voting for someone with a D behind their name, yes, you're extreme. You can't be moderate. It's extreme. Far right, we hear that a lot. We don't ever hear far left. But we know they're out there.
Oh, 100% they're out there. There's a difference between Joe Manchin and Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference. Sometimes it's hard to tell, but for the most part, that's true. What are we working on with the side piece? What should we look for?
Okay, well, I'm going to do an article about the covered bridges in Indiana, following up from the article about the top 10 waterfalls in the state of Indiana. I had no idea. I
was told from TLC you shouldn't go chasing waterfalls.
Yes, exactly. Well, I did that last weekend, and I went to Anderson Falls, and it was lovely. And so I had to do a little research, found out there's 22 waterfalls in the state of Indiana. I didn't realize that. So if you're into leaf peeping, the leaves are supposed to change around October 16th, and then for the southern part of Indiana, around the end of the month, October 31st. But rather than sit in your car and look at the leaves, an alternative, maybe get out of the car, get on foot, do some hiking.
I've been accused of being a peeping Tom, but never a leaf peeper.
So that's online right now. But there's an article that I did that's getting a lot of traction. It wasn't my opinion. It was just the opinion of someone else who listed the top 10 cities in the country that are on a downward spiral. And this Briggs, it's World According to Briggs. He does a video vlog on YouTube. He ranked South Bend, Indiana, as one of the top 10 cities to don't invest in, don't get a job there, don't buy property there. He said stay away at all costs. Crime in downtown South Bend, he cited was 346% above the national average.
No, wait a minute. Pete Buttigieg was the mayor there. How could it possibly be so bad, Casey?
He claims that the people in South Bend have a penchant for knife fights.
Boy, a team loses a few football games up in South Bend and the wheels fall off.
Right. But you can read that highly opinionated article right now on the side piece. Just go to WIBC.com.
Casey, thank you.
Hey, thank you.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. Tony Kennett joins us next. Right now, we got to look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They've never seen a storm like this. 61, mostly cloudy in downtown Indy with a clear radar. Low of 42 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. People who didn't evacuate Southwest Florida are taking shelter as Hurricane Ian makes landfall. Fort Myers Beach Mayor Ryan Murphy is there.
I've lived on this island for 40 years, and I've never experienced anything quite like this.
Ian is considered an extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane. The Biden administration says they're prepared to help the state.
We have deployed significant federal resources to the region to help prepare for the hurricane. We have more than 1,300 federal response workers on the ground in Florida.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. President Biden will go to FEMA headquarters tomorrow for a briefing. Indiana Task Force 1 is in Lake City, Florida. They're also ready to help after the storm.
We're one of 28 federal urban search and rescue task forces. We can provide assistance with wide area search, searching in a water environment, searching in a structural collapse, and safing those buildings, and trying to find people that may be injured or hurt.
Task Force leader Gerald George. The Category 4 storm made landfall this afternoon. Ukraine's president is thanking the Biden administration for sending another $1.1 billion security aid package for the country. The U.S. has now committed just under $17 billion since January. President Zelensky called it a very timely decision. 2 people were shot in Avon today. They're now in the hospital, say police. Officers were sent to a home off Glensford Drive, which is in a neighborhood just north of US 36, around 12:45 this afternoon. No information on a suspect was given, but police say there's no threat to the area. Officers in Greenwood are looking for a Hummer H3 and the driver involved in a chain reaction crash. That's from dash cam video from a family recording when the wreck happened and they hit the back of one of 2 school buses. It happened September 16th on US 31, south about 3 p.m. If you know anything about the Hummer or its driver, you're asked to call Greenwood Police. With traffic at 532, here's Matt Baer.
Wrecks on the west side. Harrison looking at northbound 465 at West 46th Street. That is a crash blocking the right lane. Traffic is stop and go all the way back to Washington Street, US 40. Up the road, northbound 465 at the top of the ramp, 286th Street. That's a crash. Somebody got sideways, and the right lane of the exit ramp is blocked right now. We're going to be slow from 86th Street up to 865. Inbound 69, crash after 82nd Street on the right shoulder. Traffic stop and go back to East 96th Street. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Another cold night comes your way as temperatures fall to the 40s tonight. Some locations seeing 30-degree temperatures in the overnight hours. By tomorrow afternoon, upper 60s under mostly sunny skies. We continue to track a warming trend that takes us to the 70s by the weekend. I'm Storm Track 8 Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown on 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Never let you down, baby.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. We go to the drivehubler.com hotline and bring on Tony Kinnett, a former educator, STEM administrator for IPS. He's an education journalist, co-founder of the chalkboardreview.com. How are you, my man?
Absolutely stellar, gentlemen.
Any number of places we could start. Let's explain to people real quick who Randy Weingarten is, head of the teachers union, and then, man, she is some ridiculous beef with Ron DeSantis, and if you could explain that whole thing to us, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. Randy Weingarten is the head of the American Federation for Teachers. It's one of the largest national teachers unions, next to the NEA, which the ISTA, the Indiana State Teachers Association, is a part of. So the AFT worked very closely with the CDC during the COVID pandemic to ask the CDC to keep kids locked out of classrooms longer. She advocated that anyone allowing kids back into classrooms was doing damage to children, that it was going to kill all of the old people, and all of these other things that turned out not to be true. And now she has continually been going after Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida. Of course, as you guys know, Governor DeSantis led the way during the lockdowns by getting Florida children back to classrooms sooner.
Yeah.
And as we've found so far, the test results have come back a lot better than, say, California, who is too terrified to even release any of their statewide testing scores, who kept students locked up the longest. So, yeah, she does not like DeSantis at all. He's the antithesis to everything she stands for, and that's evident in pretty much everything she says.
And this horrible woman, who really never, to me, cared about the children. She just wanted her teachers to have all of these perks and all of this time off. Now she's criticizing Florida's governor, saying that he didn't care about the children. This is the most hypocritical, laughable thing I've ever seen, Tony.
I mean, it really is, and there's no reason that she should be able to say, you know, we can help kids recover and thrive, and we would ask the governor, instead of smearing teachers, instead of calling them names, roll up your sleeves and work with us to actually help kids thrive, when she is the one who has kept kids from thriving for the last 2 years. She's also advocating for Title IX reform, which would see states like Florida stripped of federal funding, and would also see states like Florida's education system not be able to provide reduced lunches to kids because Florida has laws on the books that wouldn't let boys change in girls' locker rooms and think. I mean, it's incredible to see Randy Weingarten advocate against the children of Florida and yet have the gall to lecture someone else on it.
And I'm sure she was totally against the passage of that bill in Florida, the parental rights bill, essentially, or what some wrongly named the You Don't Say Gay bill, which is a total misnomer.
Yeah, there were several press releases and internal communications that have been revealed from the AFT that was a massive campaign against Florida's HB 1557, which, of course, just said you're not allowed to talk about sexual content with kids until after the third grade. I know, shockingly terrible. Apparently that means don't say gay, I guess, even though we at Chalkboard Review looked through the bill, couldn't find the words don't say gay or even the word gay anywhere in the bill. But
how dare you read the bill, Tony? What's wrong with you? Look at you reading the bill.
You have to pass the bill before you know what's in it, okay?
Oh, that's a nice old reference. I like that.
Tony Kennett with us from Chalkboard Review. Tony, you came on with me last Wednesday, and there was this story of an all-ages drag show coming to the children of Pendleton.
What?
Well, the very next day, there was a lot of chatter about some folks saying, maybe we need to pump the brakes on this. The next thing you know, the event got canceled. So for those who are listening right now that didn't follow this story closely, let's go from the beginning here. What was proposed in Pendleton, and why didn't it happen?
So on October the 1st, there is a Pride event scheduled in Pendleton by the Pendleton Pride community and sponsored by this education nonprofit called Intersect. The best way to describe Intersect is it's kind of like a DARE sort of organization. They were originally founded to advocate against smoking, and I guess now they also advocate against vaping. And they had promoted this event. They'd sponsored it, provided the insurance for this event as well. And then the schedule came out that at the Pride event, there was going to be a drag show reading hour with this very controversial individual who's, let's just say, has a very troubling history, and especially regarding social media and videos he's released. And then they were also going to do this drag show catwalk for the kids at Pendleton. And so a lot of parents were understandably concerned. We got a few tips at Chalkboard Review. We investigated the story. And we ended up releasing the information. And after some major backlash from the Eastern Central Indiana communities, Intersect pulled its sponsorship offer until the Pride movement in Pendleton would cancel the drag show and cancel the drag reading hour. And the drag reading hour has indeed been canceled. They said if this proceeds, we're not going to fund it. And if they can't fund it, then there will be no insurance for the event, which, as you guys can understand, if you don't have insurance for an event, that's a very, very serious problem. And that's where we are at the moment.
What is it, generally speaking, with, I don't have a problem with pride fests or drag shows, but when you mix in kids, I mean, there's social media clips all over the place. I just saw a very disturbing this week about a kid putting his hands on somebody at a drag show.
Guy with the weird mermaid fish dress or whatever, and this girl walked up and put her hand on his crotch.
Where is the FBI?
And now normally, exactly. And my question is this: if you're an adult and some kid comes up and they're reaching for your belt or maybe a cup in your hand down by your waist and they accidentally put their hand where they're not supposed to be, shouldn't your first reaction be to immediately move their hand and maybe offer a remark like, "Hey, don't touch people there. That's very inappropriate"?
Tony Kennett with us from Chalkboard Review. Tony, what I love about having you as a guest is we can talk about school issues, and I know that's kind of your bread and butter, things happening in the educational world, but we could also talk about everything. So while we're focused on this hurricane that's happening in Florida right now, this big, strong, nasty hurricane, there are some other major stories that might not be getting the attention they deserve because of the storm. We could start at a number of places here, but your thoughts on what's happening with this pipeline?
So I am going to say that the German government has released an official statement. So for the individuals who may not know, the Nord Stream pipeline from Russia to Germany was a natural gas pipeline, or is a natural gas pipeline that facilitates a lot of important energy resources so that Europe doesn't freeze during the winter because they all were terrified of nuclear power for some unknown reason. And there were two specific attacks reported by German and Russian authorities in tandem, saying that an international waters actually just on either side of the Denmark-controlled zone, so whoever did this knew what they were doing, have caused two major leaks in the Nord Stream pipeline. There are a lot of people saying that the United States is responsible for this. In fact, President Biden did say earlier this year that the United States would put a stop to the Nord Stream pipeline if Russia did anything hanky. This is a very serious act of war, if that's true. I pray to God that it's not, especially since President Biden has clearly shown elevated levels of dementia. As someone who has experience taking care of an individual with dementia, I can say that It bothers me to no end that we've propped up someone who's clearly suffering from extreme dementia to the highest position in our country, including Commander-in-Chief, at a time when you need someone who is going to defend this country, who is going to make sure that our interests and, more importantly, our citizens are safe. I mean, our Department of the State Department just released a statement this morning saying that all Americans need to leave Russia immediately.
Saw that, yeah.
That's a serious thing. And right after the Nord Stream issue, that looks suspicious to me. I certainly hope we weren't involved.
Could you stick around for one more segment?
You guys got it.
All right, we'll be right back here. Tony Kinnett, Chalkboard Review on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
When you don't need to worry, there'll be days like this. When no one's in a hurry, there'll be days like this. When all the parts of the puzzle start to look like they fit, then I must remember there'll be days like this. The lyrics from Van Morrison's song make a great anthem for retirees. When it's not always raining, when there's no one complaining, when no one steps on your dreams, there'll be days like this. The good life in retirement. Can there actually be days like that, even in these challenging times? This is Brian Singer with Singer Financial. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Henry Ford said that. Henry Ford and Van Morrison, an odd couple perhaps, but let's focus on the perspective their messaging represents for today's retirees. When you ring out the changes of how everything is, well, my mama told me there'll be days like this. Van Morrison's Days Like This is an anthem of positive changes. That's what retirement should be. That's what retirement can be. A new chapter lived on your terms, based on your choices, your goals, your priorities, and your purpose. You can't control the stock market. You can't control inflation or interest rates or the price of a barrel of oil or a loaf of bread. But you can choose to plan for your future. If you think you can or you can't live the life of your dreams, you're right. When everything falls into place like the flick of a switch, well, my mama told me there'll be days like this. Life is about special moments. Don't wait for them. Create them. At Singer Financial, we believe optimism is a competitive advantage. If you're ready to pursue the life of your dreams and live a work-optional lifestyle as unique as you are, we should visit. Call 317-852-9153 or go to singerfinancialgroup.com to schedule a discovery visit.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Verizon Connect has a new AI dash cam with dual cameras. It's sleek, simple, and easy to install. Oh, and did I mention it's AI smart? It'll give your team real-time alerts.
Tailgating.
And each video is automatically classified and sent to your team, giving you context to help coach your drivers. Best yet, it seamlessly works in one platform that tracks your vehicles, dispatches jobs, and much more. See how Verizon Connect can help manage your fleet at VerizonConnect.com/radio.
Family Dollar has more for Halloween. Find everything for the perfect celebration. Costume accessories, decorations, and a huge variety of candy. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local, well-trained expert you can trust like Family Heating and Air Conditioning? We'll find that American Standard Air Dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
Northbound 465 on the west side, crash at West 46th Street, blocking the right lane. Stop and go traffic back to I-74 Crawfordsville Road. Then we're slow to Washington. Northbound 465 northwest side, crash at the top of the ramp to West 86th Street. Ramp is open, partially blocked. We're then stop and go up to 865. On the east side, southbound 465 still heavy, 70 down to 74, and inbound 70 jammed at Rural to the north split. There's a crash Mooresville Road at Southport Road. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
63 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
And we're back. The Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC. Never take a L no more.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. We're going to go back to the drivehubler.com hotline with Tony Kinnett, Chalkboard Review, STEM administrator for IPS. At one time in his career, he's an education journalist. Back to something that I saw in Canada. I wanted to get your opinion on the freak teacher that is wearing these giant cartoon prosthetic breasts into the classroom. And then I was glad to see an outcry from parents in Canada to get this lunatic out of the classroom. What do we know about that situation up in Canada?
Well, first of all, there's one more unfortunate step that you kind of forgot to mention. The guy didn't just have large boobs. He also had these really big protruding nipples, like this overtly sexual statement that he's making to anyone who's looking at them. Very awkward, very disturbing. Certainly not something that you would wear in public, much less in front of kids. And there are students now that are protesting the event. Not just the event, going to school in general. They're just protesting the teacher being around them at all, and they're refusing to be anywhere near him because they rightly assert that he's being very sexual by his very nature. And that in and of itself is just, it's encouraging to see people standing up to this kind of nonsense, but it's also very depressing to see how far we have fallen as a culture. If you would have told me 5 years ago this is what we would be arguing over, not only would I not have believed you, I would have thought you were joking.
But the thing is, the school is doubled down. That's also depressing. Their response to this as well. We are inclusive. Yes.
Very well said. Yeah. Inclusive. I don't know how doubling down on a man big, huge, double boobs in front of children is anything worthwhile in the educational process. I don't know how it's inclusive to tell children that they must be forced to sit in an overtly sexual environment. It seems that inclusivity only goes one way. It's always in favor of those who are trying to be as sexual as possible, and never inclusive of those who may not want anything sexual in front of their faces, notwithstanding that they're minors.
Inclusivity is one of those words you hear that if you're a parent who's concerned about what's happening in the classroom, like just spitballing here, maybe you don't want your child to see large breasts and nipples in a classroom. You're going to get...
let's not get carried away.
You're going to hear a few buzzwords. You're going to hear inclusivity.
Equity.
You're going to hear equity. You're going to hear privilege. You're going to hear all of those things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these are just buzzwords that have been used by academia and also by individuals on the progressive left to virtue signal and also to make you feel guilty. The idea is to make it sound like you don't want to be kind. You don't actually want people to just be who they are and follow their dreams and their heart. You want to impose some kind of evil moral hell upon them. And, of course, that's not the case. You just don't want your kids exposed to sexual nonsense or racist nonsense or any other kind of inappropriate goof-offishness that hasn't been necessary in education since its founding. But they use these words so that you feel guilty. And if you're guilty, maybe you'll be quiet and maybe you'll acquiesce. And that kind of foolishness has become vogue in American society, Canadian society, really across Western civilization as a whole. And we are going to pay the price for it with our children, which is the most horrific thing I can imagine.
Tony, last thing before we let you go, lots of school board seats up for grabs coming up here in a few weeks. How do parents go about, your recommendation of how parents go about deciding who to vote for? There's not an R or a D next to these school board members' names. And I don't know if you agree if there should be or not, but with the best way to go about finding out and vetting some of these people that want to be on the school board, that are running to make decisions in your school districts.
I think that if a school board candidate wants to put an R or a D next to the name, they should be allowed to. If they want to say, hey, I ally with Republicans or I ally with Democrats, and so therefore they get to participate in the straight ticket voting process, I think that's fine. It's your choice. If I want to declare myself a Republican or Democrat, who should be able to stop me? That said, that's not the case in Indiana, at least at this point in time.
Yeah.
If you're a parent, first of all, you need to research your local candidates. There is nothing more local than your school board. Your tax dollars are paying for it, even if you're not a parent. It's very important. Do not just go read social media posts. Actually talk to these candidates and make them talk to you past the talking points. Don't let them get you into the weeds of the inclusivity and the fancy words and I'm just about this really nice sounding thing. Actually make them talk to you about what policies they want to see carried through. What is their idea regarding school safety? What are their ideas regarding how students are treated, how parents are included? Actually make them give you examples and hit them with the hard questions, because that's how you do good research on a candidate. Because those talking points aren't running for election. They're individuals who are going to be making a difference in your communities for better or for worse. Do your research.
Tony Kennett, where can people find your work, my friend?
You can find all of our work over at chalkboardreview.com. You can find us on social media at chalkboardrev. And if you're a sadist and have nothing better to do, you can follow me on Twitter at TheTonus.
The Tonus!
At the Tonus.
Use discretion.
Tony, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Big Nige, we got another hour to go. We have an update on the hurricane. Do not go anywhere. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Need to beat inflation? Golden Oak Lending is here to help.
Inflation has credit card balances at an all-time high. Why pay up to 25% interest when Golden Oak can pay off that debt at 4.75% fixed?
Our low mortgage rates make you the winner.
Call 317-706-GOLD to lock in your